Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. The czar want me to stir something up again. And you know, I'm getting to the point now, man, brothers and sisters. I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to look at social media as a pathetic place where people are superbly entertained and they're willing to spend their hard-earned money to be entertained. Shout out to Jim Animal John Q on his born day. Happy born day, my friend. So many people might say, well, where you been at, Targa Bay? Let me tell you what I've been doing. I've been actually trying to build something that can benefit people. And I don't put a lot of stuff on camera because people that dislike the truth that I put out, they will try to sabotage it, you know. And so a lot of things that I do, I try to keep some of the majority of the stuff I keep off camera. I keep off camera because I've also noticed as we get into this conversation tonight, I also noticed that most people who advertise a lot of what they do off camera, they do it just for advertisement in order to, I'm about to put you up on some stuff today. I mean, somebody said Tariq is as official as they come out in California. What do you mean by that? Let me see if you will hit the link. Because I mean, what do you mean? What does official mean today? Would you hit the link? Would you be so kind to hit the link? Would you be so kind to hit the link? If you say Brother Tariq is official, I haven't accused him of anything. But if he's official, would you be so kind to hit the link and tell me what that means? Because official means different things to different people all the time. So I would love to hear what your understanding of official is, you know, because a lot of times when we say things, you know, what does that mean to you? Does that mean the same thing to everybody else? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he is or not official. I just know that we as a people, we fight our liberation like no other. In other words, when you look at liberation on the Gaza Strip, anybody familiar with the Gaza Strip, the war between the Palestinians and the Israelis? When you look at liberation on the Gaza Strip, that ain't what we see here. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what we see here. When you look at liberation in the Congo, that ain't what we see here. When you look at liberation in the Ukraine, that ain't what we see here. When we look at the people like us that's dealing with liberation, we see entertainment. I'm telling you, I'm going to get people upset with me because I can't, because listen, okay, let's keep it a bucket. Let's keep it a bucket. I mean, let's keep it a bucket. Minister Paul say, define liberation. The liberation is the quality of being completely dependent on you, by you, ultimately. When I speak of liberation, I'm speaking of that we're working towards one day to control our water and flush our own poop at bottom barrel. Completely self-sufficient. Completely. And on the path to that, And on the path to that, there's a steps to get to that. I don't see them steps. I don't see those steps. I don't see those steps nowhere on the internet. None. I don't see those steps. I see entertainment on the internet. So I'm talking about complete detachment, self-sufficiency, relying on yourself. That's what I see. Anybody? I want to bring Minister Paul in. I kind of jumped around. I was going to get a couple conversations. Shout out to my brother, Minister Paul. I'm just saying this is bad, family. I got a little bit commentary that I want to get in first, but this is bad. It says, "Yep, I like Tariq. Looking forward to going to the museum when it's open." I understand the need for the museum. However, the situation that we're in as a people, what do you see as priority? What do you see as priority? Look at the world. Let's look at the world real quick. Let's look at the world view. Everywhere you go, the water is contaminated. All on the news, you hear about the water is contaminated. Still police brutality everywhere. We have groups like the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Nation of Islam, been around forever. They have yet to establish not even a colony for them own selves. Not one colony. And these are the groups that's on the forefront to talk about that race first or race pride or never established nothing where people are living together and thriving together. Shout out to Ben X and those who are trying their efforts with the hereafter. But come on. Do we know what liberation look like anymore? Is anybody even fighting for liberation anymore? And when I say liberation, don't get that idea about screaming black power. Don't get that idea about screaming Islam, shalom, and all that. But do anybody know what liberation looks like anymore? I like what this is saying. This is what I like. Seems like there's a new group of movement every 5 years. What's the blueprint for freedom after a century of having knowledge of self? Thank you, Cedric. This is the point of this show. This is the point of this show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Cedric. Just a few years ago, it was ADOS. African descendants of slavery. What happened to that? What happened to African descendants of slavery? Let me get my brother in here. Descendants of slavery. What happened to that? My brother.
What's up, man?
My brother, introduce yourself, brother. Talk to me.
It's Mr. Top Flight, man. Calling out of Maryland.
What's up? What you talk to me, brother?
All right, man. Look here. Hey, look. I rock with you. I love what you're doing out here. I love how you critiquing and you breaking a lot of stuff down. But this right here, man, Tariq, that's my dog, man.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's get into it then. Talk to me.
All right, let's get into it. I want to look at anything I say is gonna be respectful, dog. I'm not trying to disrespect.
Absolutely.
So look.
No. I want to get into the education of why he's real. That's all.
All right, I
never said he wasn't real, first of all, but I want to hear what you got to say.
Now I know you're not saying that, but it's a lot of brothers. I done seen a lot of videos similar to this one where they keep saying, I'm not dissing Tariq. I like what he did, but okay, so I'm gonna give you my perspective. All I can do is give you what he's given me so far.
All right.
Now, first and foremost, everybody is not claiming to be a liberator, right? I understand your frustration when we see so much fuckery going on in this community. I understand that. But for me, Tariq doesn't present himself as a leader or a liberator, he has certain practices that he does incorporates in his life that makes him successful. I think success, finances, education are the things that we need for liberation. Okay, so I keep saying people making videos and they can't really pinpoint what's wrong with what he's doing. They can't really put their fingers, like people reaching.
But
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
what I think it is. So what I will pinpoint of from where I stand, that is a philosophy towards liberation. So when we look at foundational Black American, I disagree with that personally. You know what I'm saying? I disagree with it.
Agree with that. Tell me why you disagree with that.
I disagree with it because I don't see. Maybe you can help me out. I don't see the angle or the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, whenever I'm involved in something, I have to see the end result before I get involved in it. You follow what I'm saying? So what is the angle and what's the goal?
The goal is, number one, we've been under these banners of African American people have named us. We have let these people name us, right? Now, from what I've gathered from this new finding of something that's already old, because we've always been FBA. I have always been FBA. My grandmother was in the fields. My family are from slaves. You see what I'm saying? So foundational Black American. I don't understand why that pisses people off so much. No, listen.
People need to understand, brother. It's understanding is the rock.
Okay. Let me say this. First, let's just say for a minute, there was no goal. There is, I'm gonna get to that, but let me just say, ask yourself if there was no goal. Foundational Black American. It's not a group, it's not a movement, it's a lineage. That brother helped us take our own identity and say, look, this is who we are. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I got you.
Now let's go to the goal. The goal number one is, when I say I'm a foundational Black American, we put ourselves in a political place to where we separate ourselves and acknowledge that we are our own lineage. We all need, this lineage needs tangibles. This lineage needs things, money or services or a hate bill or whatever it may be. Because we're getting muddied with all the immigrants and the new wave of, our brothers from the other continents. They're coming over here and they're separating themselves from us as well. They're saying, hey, I'm an African, or I'm a Jamaican, or I'm a Caribbean. I'm not like you. And we being put at the bottom. We're being put all the way at the
Hold up, brother. Let me show you where I stand on this. So when you talk about foundational Black American, in fact, it has no real, from an educational perspective, it really has no place. It's actually a made-up term. Nothing wrong with that. It's a made-up.
All of them are made up.
Hold up. It's a made-up term. Now, when you look at immigrants that coming from other countries, they always group together by nationality. Always, since they were coming in Ellis Island. This is nothing new. Whenever someone came in, whether they came from France, whether they came from Britain, whether they came from Africa, they always go into the places in which they were familiar with and the people that was designated in certain territories. That's nothing new. That's always been like that. Now, it would be like if you knew that it was people from Maryland in South Africa, you would naturally gravitate to the people that's from Maryland because y'all got something to relate on. That's a human thing. You know what I'm saying? But now, with that being said, when you're talking about foundational Black American, right? Just from what I see, it seems somewhat divisive because this is why. It seems somewhat divisive. And I need to be educated on it, maybe. It seems somewhat divisive because you have a whole world that we have populated. And when we put ourselves into a box of we're just foundational American, when we populated the planet. Now, of course, you're going to have people around the planet that don't like us, that disagree with us, but you're also going to have some that understand the brotherhood of us. that will work with us. Now, what European does, it doesn't matter if Russia is beefing with the United States, if Russia beefing with Britain. When it's all down, said and done, it's to keep you oppressed. And they will unite under the European banner to keep you oppressed. And
I'm glad you said that.
And so when we're going to have those that have been indoctrinated. We're going to have those that have been colonized that's going to look at you as less than them. But you will also have some that understand that we are the dominant on the planet. And until we know around the planet that we got to come together, we will always lose.
Listen, you're right. FBA has always acknowledged, reached out, and paid homage to everybody. During the 80s, I grew up listening to Public Enemy. We used to wear the African medallion. We was rocking heavy.
Absolutely. I remember.
Listen.
You had the Expos.
It seems like at some point recently, a lot of people start waking up like, man, look, we love y'all, but we not getting no type of reciprocation back. In fact, we are getting people, they are elevating a lot of immigrants into political positions that are undermining.
Listen to what you're saying, though. You're saying they are elevating. That means you want them to elevate you when we supposed to empower and elevate ourselves. No, hold on. Listen to the language.
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish.
My bad.
What I'm saying is we wanted brotherhood with all our brothers across the world. Just like you said, we wanted that brotherhood. Hold up one second. The dominant society, they are elevating a lot of immigrants because they don't have the same attachment to our plight as we do. And a lot of the immigrants are coming over and they tell us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. They don't fight white supremacy like we do. Matter of fact, they don't have a problem being under white supremacy. So that's where separation from other groups is very necessary.
Do you hear what you're saying?
Yes.
You're saying they. And
yes.
So when you say they are elevating, they have always done that.
Yes.
When we are going to elevate ourselves, understand the political landscape and know how to move in it or move out of it. It's either one or the other. If you're going to move politically, then you need to know how to move in it to elevate our station or our status in this society. Or you move out of it. There's only two ways. And we cannot get mad at the oppressor to elevate people over us because that's what the oppressor does.
No. It's not about them.
Listen to what you said, though.
I'm going to say it again.
They are elevating. But that's not important. That's immaterial. They have always done that, and they're never going to stop.
Okay, I think you misunderstand it. It ain't about the white supremacists that are elevating them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people that you're saying we should be holding hands with, that we've been holding hands. That we've been holding hands with.
Name one. Give me an example.
What's the girl name? Candace Owens.
No, who have we been holding hands with?
With all of our brothers and sisters.
Let's do it like this, big bro. Let's do it like this, Mr. Top Flight. Let's do it like this. One thing for sure, two things for certain. We have never had a political representative to represent us and our concerns. From the rootin' to the tootin' to the raw. So to say that we held hands and to say that we did this and that, that's not true. We have never had someone to represent us on the world stage as a people.
You move the goalpost, big dog.
No,
you move the goalpost.
Listen to what I'm trying to say, though. Listen to what I'm trying to say. In order to say that people are not in camaraderie around the diaspora for the foundational Black American, first we have to point out one who has been a representative and where we have been denied.
We don't have to do that. Listen, we do not have to do all that.
People
It's-
coming
it's-
from personal experiences, though.
No,
Because Because the funky cab driver from Nigeria says, "Oh, I don't like it," because
No. Look. I don't know if you've been aware. I don't know if you've been on Twitter. The diaspora wars. Have you heard that shit?
I see it. I see it.
Have you heard?
European does it. Absolutely.
Listen, man. Hey, look here, man. Not all, but a lot of man. We call it Akata. We don't have a term like that for African people. We don't have a negative term like that.
Bro, you're
Right?
going to get that though.
Listen.
We're going to get that.
They told okay, but you're dismissing that. But
No.
listen. We dismissed it for years. It's getting out of hand. Bottom line is though. Let me say, go back to FBA, man, because we gonna stay here all day.
What I'm saying about FBA, right? It's like only thing I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. We are always going to have a divisive nature amongst all of our people in some way, shape, or form. That's how white supremacy has been designed.
Man.
This is why you have demarcation lines and that one tribe is over the other. And I don't believe that we all going to come together and
I don't either.
hold hands. I don't believe that at all.
I don't
believe that at all.
I don't
But
either.
at the same time, I don't believe that we all should be locked into a box of I'm foundational Black American when you have a whole world out here that will probably
Okay.
help
So
get this thing going.
so Jamaicans shouldn't be locked in a box. Africans should be
not.
locked. Oh no, stop. Listen to me closely. Because they are. They call themselves They call themselves Jamaicans, right? Do they call Do they call themselves the same thing we call ourselves?
But I call myself a Moorish American.
Slow down.
I get your point.
Jamaicans are allowed to call themselves Jamaicans and acknowledge their lineage.
Absolutely.
Africans are allowed to call themselves whatever they want, and Nigerians. But when we call ourselves foundational Black Americans, we're divisive.
No. Listen what I'm saying. I call myself a Moorish American.
Okay.
I don't see myself any different from you. You see? So
Yes.
when you hear foundational Black American, it's like, listen, we're the foundation here, and you're not us because this is us. But
they're not. Sorry. I'm sorry, dog.
This is what I'm saying. When I say I'm a Moorish American, I see no different from you.
Dog. So we sparing people's feelings. We got a lot of people. Dog, we're different. We are different.
Listen, I see you and I experience slavery and the African experience colonization.
Culture. We're talking about culture. It's not a negative content. See, people will make it. Listen. People making it negative. You mean to tell me at your family reunion function is going to be the same as an African family function? You mean to tell me that?
Not. I'm a Moorish American. And I have people in my family who also subscribe to being Black. So it's going to be a mix of two different cultures there.
What I'm saying is a foundational Black American. Okay, nobody likes that word. Cool.
No, it's fine, bro. It's fine.
Well, here we go. Black people that are non-immigrants. You mean to tell me that we have the same culture as a Jamaican?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. But that does not. But what I'm saying is that still does not make us. The culture may be different. For example, let me go to the Native Americans. For example, you go with the Iroquois. The Iroquois is a confederacy of tribes. It's a confederacy of tribes with a bunch of different cultures within it. Let's look at an empire, for example. When you look at an empire, let's look at the Roman Empire, for example. Although the Roman Empire extended from Rome all the way to what we know as Turkey, they didn't even speak the same language, but they were able to work together to conquer all of North Africa. They didn't even speak the same language. Now, what I'm saying with us as a people, until we realize that we need to get to the point where we have an empire state of mind.
Who are you telling this to?
Huh?
Who are you? You can't be telling it to the FBA because we've been doing that for 50 years.
This is what I'm
saying. You're talking to the wrong people.
That's what I'm saying. Until we get to the point where we get to the empire state of mind, where what you practice is what you practice. But when we form like Voltron.
We can do that
That's
now.
how it's supposed to be.
That's what we can do now. FBA doesn't stop from doing that.
That's like, what made you? Hold on, before I get somebody. Don't go nowhere. What made you hit the link, brother? That's you rock with Tariq Nasheed. You seen that picture?
No, I watch your shit every week.
My man.
But no. Tonight, yeah, I had to hit that link because I've been on all kind of platforms, dog. Because I don't get it. I don't get it.
This is the thing. When I see FBA and I read what it's about, it seems like we're giving ourselves, putting ourselves right here, and the world is right out here. And Europeans,
It is.
But what I'm saying is, Europeans, they put themselves here, but they interconnect.
Stop right there. Stop. No. Stop. Let me say one thing. You said yes, they do. The problem is when we try to connect all over here. We're the only one. We're the only ones trying to connect over here.
Show me when.
Show you what?
Show me when we try to connect. Give me one example. One example. One good example.
The whole Pan-African movement.
That's ambiguous. I'm asking. I can show you how Europeans connect. I can show you that.
Show me.
I'm asking you. I can show you how the Arabs connect.
How?
How the Arabs connect?
Yeah.
You go. I bet you Palestine and the Gaza Strip, where do you think all their weapons and all their finances come from? They come from the oil tycoons.
We don't have oil.
This is what I'm trying. Listen to me though. Listen to me.
You're reaching, man.
No, I want you to listen to the example. When Arabs are in trouble, even Saddam Hussein would have secret financiers of other countries.
He's a billionaire, dog. It's apples and oranges, dog.
No. Listen what I'm trying to say. Europeans do the same thing.
They're billionaires.
They do the same thing.
They have
resources.
We don't have resources.
What I'm saying is because we do. All the resources is in Africa.
Oh man, here we go.
Let me finish, brother. Let me finish.
They not telling us to come over there and get none of them. They're not saying come over here and get none of them.
But let me finish though.
They don't even have.
We're so busy trying to make ourselves exclusive and separate from the world that we're boxing ourselves in a corner. When in fact there is some. Gaddafi gave Farrakhan millions of dollars in land.
Where is it at?
That's right. That's the point. I believe it was misappropriated.
That's Gaddafi.
He couldn't take it.
Gaddafi.
Cuba, hold up. Cuba sent brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam to school to be doctors. This is what I'm saying. There is countries out there that will support, but we are busy putting ourselves in a box and not creating relationships.
Wrong.
Name a relationship we're creating.
Listen, man, it's been relationships created. You
agree.
Listen. You just said all the resources in Africa. Where is the Come to Africa Get These Resources movement at? Have you ever seen one?
Listen what I'm saying. Ghana is giving away land right now to quote unquote Africans Americans.
They're not giving away nothing. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. It's not. They're not giving away land to brothers over there.
No, they are. You gotta meet certain requirements.
Absolutely.
A friend of mine is from Ghana. He live here right now.
Strict requirements.
No,
Very
bro,
strict. Gotta have a bag.
Okay, listen to me. Show me what strict requirements is it, since you know.
They gotta see your tax information. They gotta see all kind of money going back to. Okay, all right, okay. Go look it up, Holmes. Go look it up. The point is, this the point. You named all these people that have resources. We are at the bottom of the fucking barrel.
I understand that.
Everybody else is coming over here and they stepping on our foot, and they are being used by the dominant society to step on our neck. That's what's going on. You got to understand that, dog.
I get that. I agree.
You don't want to save your lineage. You don't want to preserve. You don't want to preserve your lineage.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let me tell you, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that, and when I say Ghana is giving away land, I'm not saying that everybody is going to swipe up some land and everybody going to Ghana. I'm not going to Ghana. That's not the point. What the point that I'm making is that if someone would offer one person the quote unquote African American some land and they're on the continent of Africa, that's a sign that there is hope. But when we say I'm FBA and the heck with everybody else because they don't care, they're not supposed to because they've been indoctrinated with European psychology. And so you don't take that indoctrination and then you perpetuate it by saying, I'm me and you. No, that's the game plan.
How do we get to that point?
Conquer.
How do we get to that point? You act like we just woke up one day and we stop fucking with people. No, why do we change our stance? Why? You not
but what's the benefit?
You acting like we never wanted to fuck with nobody else. Why do my fault? I'm cussing, my fault.
No, I'm asking, show me when we as a people have reached out and sent a delegation to mess with a political body country in another country. Show me.
I can't show you that, but what I
can't show me. You know why? Because it's rhetoric. I can show you when it happened.
Okay,
because it's rhetoric. So why? It's rhetoric. See, you know the difference between rhetoric and fact is this. You say, okay, we're on our own. Nobody cares. Nobody want to help us. They come up here, they beat us down. They treat us greasy, right? But I'm asking, I say, well, when have we ever seen a political group of quote unquote FBAs, Moors, nation, go across and make a conversation of support from one shore to the other? We seen Farrakhan do it. We seen and he got the help.
So where's it at? Where's the help at? Where's the help at?
Bro, that's
rhetoric.
We're talking about, bro, the point that we're making is not that the help hasn't been received, the help has been offered. But you don't even get support from your brother or sisters when you say, we're not you, you not us.
We're not getting support now, Holmes. We're not getting support now.
What I'm asking is, show me an example.
I will show you 1,000. Go get on. I want you to scroll down your timeline, and I want you to see the anti-FBA rhetoric.
Oh yeah, I know, and I don't want to be in that box either.
No.
Conversation. I don't want to be in that box. I like clear, concise information. So it's like when I say, show me the example where people.
That's how you be winning these arguments, dog. I'm hip. That's how you be winning. That's your tactic.
Precise information.
That's your tactic, dog.
No. Hey, Mr. Top Flight. What I'm saying is, I just like precise information. If one say, okay, don't nobody really rock with us. You know, that's like me going out my door and Europeans not rocking with me, the Mexicans not rocking with me. But that's not political. That's not money. It's politically driven. However, where is the delegation? Where is the delegation that sits at the table to negotiate something for the greater whole?
Let me say this, and I'm a yield.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Show me the delegation.
I see what you're saying. You kind of move.
Show me the delegation that has sat at the table and they have been denied. You can't show me that.
I'm gonna say this. I'm a yield, right? Because you kind of moving the goalpost. But let me just say this right here, dog. Yeah, you very good. You very good at that, dog. Look, let me just say this.
Some topics, bro. Send me some topics, man.
I got them all day. But look here, man. Shit, I forgot what I was about to say. Hey, man, I'm talking about results, man. I'm talking about results. What I see, what's going on. Hold on. There hasn't been any type of movement going on. There hasn't been any type of fruit from all this shit we've been doing for the last 50 years. Now, let me say this. FBA, dog, all we doing is acknowledging our lineage, dog. That's it. Acknowledging our lineage. There's power in that. There's political power in that. Now we can go and get our reparations.
Okay. Before I bring in a digital and my brother, how is the power acknowledging your lineage?
How is the power acknowledging the Indian? How are Indians? Hold up.
Show me the step by step how power come forth.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you an example. The Indians. They acknowledge their lineage, right?
Yeah.
Hold up. They get certain They got certain laws and bills
I
that
think they
protect
didn't
them.
acknowledge they was given a handout. They was put on a reservation. They $5 Indians. No, next.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the real Indian. I'm talking about the real real natives. Okay, so you know where I'm going with that.
I got you, but I want to hear the step-by-step process of saying that I'm FDA, acknowledging my lineage, and now I get rewarded. How that work?
The first step is for other brothers to stop jumping at the first step, trying to shut it down.
No,
That's crazy.
no,
I'm telling you step by step.
Shut it down.
I'm telling you step by step. I'm telling you step by step. That's the first step, is acknowledging. The first step is to acknowledge. See, they can acknowledge they're Jamaican. They can fly a flag all freaking day. They can acknowledge that they're Puerto Rican. They can fly a flag all day. But we can't acknowledge our.
Let me show you the difference. Let me show you the difference.
What's the difference? Please,
let me show you the difference. When they fly a flag, it's not only representing their heritage, it's also representing their political standing.
Cool. We can do the same thing.
I'm asking, what is the political stance of the FBA?
The political stance of the FBA is we are foundational. When we built this joint, we are.
That's not political.
You not let me talk, dog.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Why ain't that political? Why isn't a reparations claim not political?
Listen to me.
Okay.
Let me give you an example, though. Let me give you an example.
Say, for instance,
when a Puerto Rican flies a flag, it represents the state and the land in which he has a standing government of some sort.
Right.
Now, it could be a puppet government, whatever, but it represents a standing government of some sort.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that Tariq Nasheed is not a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's what you said. Yeah. So if you FBA in your political, you definitely need a figurehead or a central authority to execute anything. You can't go with a crowd of people and say, give me reparations. No one ever got reparations like that, and no one ever got compensation like that. Reparation is a legal action taking place by a central authority, organization, or government. It's never done just by a group of people saying, give me money. Never in the world.
So who was the representation for Ukraine and all these other places?
The government. The Ukraine is a government. It's a sovereign government.
No, I understand that, but they are giving these people money.
They're a president. It's a sovereign government.
We the only ones that gotta go through all these hoops and go do this.
They already did the groundwork.
So let me ask
sovereign government. How do you become a sovereign leader?
How do you become a sovereign government when y'all don't want us to represent ourselves?
No, it's not y'all. You build. Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said. You said Tariq is not a leader. I can't stop you from building a government. No one can stop you from building a government. But first, you have to have a leader that is ready to be the central authority to represent the constituents.
No, you don't. The code is the leader.
Bro, you would never get anything like that.
Okay. We've gotten everything like that.
What you got?
We've got, bro, you can walk down Mondawmin Mall and you can walk down Federal Hill or wherever you go.
Yeah, but Jews on Mondawmin Mall.
You can look, I know. You can use you can use the water fountains. Okay, they didn't want to give us they didn't want to give us freedom from slavery. They didn't want us to be integrated. We got everything we want. Look, this is what I want to say. We don't need all these up, man. We foundational Black Americans. Let me finish. We ain't begging on nobody, asking nobody for shit. We got this. We can do this. We've been doing this. Matter of fact, we got everybody else over here so they can do.
I'm asking you, what do you have though? You said you got everything. You can drink out the water fountain. You got Mondawmin Mall.
No, you taking that the wrong way. See, you being funny. I know. What I'm saying is,
are you near Baltimore? You should come holler at me, man.
No, I be in Baltimore all the time, though. I'm from Jessup, Maryland, man. I live out.
You should come on up Park Heights and sit out and holler at me, man.
Hey, no, I used to go up Park Heights and snatch the bundles and all that. Yeah, I come out there. When I was a little kid, I used to go out there and snatch bundles.
Man, you should come holler at me, man. That'd be nice, man. We just sit on the block and chop it up.
Hey, yeah, I'm about to get off here, but I want to ask you, man.
I salute you, man.
Look, let me say one last thing. Huh?
I said, rep your mans, man.
No. I want to say one thing before you continue with this live stream, dog. At least do some more investigation on the brother, because you know what I'm saying. At least slow down.
I never came at Tariq sideways
because it's looking like YouTube saw that museum come and now they was waiting for it to fail or not to come. It's like everybody seen him get the museum, and now everybody making videos, though.
No,
And I don't like that.
Listen, I think it's time for the conversation, because when we're talking about liberation and detaching ourselves from the oppressive system that has done us no good, I don't see anybody walking down that path. That's all. It has nothing to do with Tariq or anybody that's on the flyer, but it is a talking point. FBA is a talking point.
At some point, explain what liberation means to you. I want to know what your liberation means. I want to hear.
Liberation to me, the ultimate liberation to me is total detachment and dependency on the same system that has oppressed us since slavery. Total detachment. In other words, you control your own water. You control your own resources. You control your own electric. You control your own. You know what I'm saying? We need.
Who is the representation for that?
What do you mean? Who's the representation?
Who's the leader? Who's the leader for that? See,
I lead my group. I lead my group, and behind the scenes, I'm working towards some things. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do this on social media. But the point that I'm making is, when you ask me about what liberation is, I'm telling you, true liberation is a march towards total independence.
Absolutely.
Total independence. And if
I like
that march is not taking the right step towards total independence, we are only being entertained, and we just keeping hope alive.
Last thing, and I'm gone. You said independence. That brother is the definition of independence. That man got all them productions. Hidden Colors shifted the whole paradigm of the whole world, dog.
That brother is an individual. That's a business.
No. Stop. That individual is, I don't want to say a role model. Stop. I don't want to say he's a role model, but he is an example.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So why isn't that good enough sometimes? You talk about the scammers and the robbers and the thieves. This brother makes his own damn money. He educates the people, and it's like people still got a problem with that.
Let's be clear. He does do a lot, brother. But let me tell you, every Hidden Colors that I've seen, there was a GoFundMe, or a jump starter or some type of crowd fundraising for that. So,
and he's smart for that. And he's smart. What you think white people do?
What I'm saying is this, brother. It's a business at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Don't confuse a good businessman with a liberator.
No. I know it's a business, and I salute that. And that's what we need to be on, business. Instead of on this YouTube talking about niggas is getting money.
Independence when you're depending on the contributions, when you're depending on listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
What I'm saying is that's not independence.
That is independence, because his integrity, his movements, his track record has allowed people to trust him to do this, and he's produced.
I understand that, but when I'm telling you, when we're talking about independence as it relates to liberation, brother, that means that you control your own resources, that no one can poison the water.
He has a building. He has a whole building, dog. He owns the building. Did you donate to Mississippi, dog? Let me ask you that.
Say it again.
Did you donate to Mississippi? I see you said something about some water. Did you donate to Mississippi?
Absolutely not. But because we're facing our own water crisis here in Baltimore. Did you hear about it?
Well, there you go. Did you donate to Baltimore?
I'm here. Now let me get my brother on. Bro, I appreciate you. That's man.
Take it easy on my dog, man.
Hey, leave him on for a second, just because he ain't gonna like it.
Who is that? Digital pit boss?
Yeah, because I got something to say about it.
But hold up, where have you been at?
You know, I've been watching, bro, paying attention to you.
So let's go. So we're shifting the gear right now, and we're going to start talking about some of these things that's hot on Twitter and hot on Current Events. I reached out to my brother, Minister Paul, earlier. I got a little bit busy. I couldn't get back to him, so I'm glad that he chimed in. My brother, the floor is yours. And Mr. Tight Fly, don't go nowhere, because Digital Pit Boss, now he a veteran now. He a veteran.
That's what's up.
So let's go.
All right, real quick. So I just got to state some facts, because, I've been on this YouTube shit since the jump, since before Umar was cracking, right?
Mac lessons. He about to say Mac lessons.
Yeah, Mac lessons, all that. I watched Tariq whole flow, right? So here is the
For
facts.
what?
The FBA is like a YouTube fan base that bought in to a business plan. He was successful with his books. With matter of fact, his Hidden Color series is full of lies. His Hidden Series Colors is similar to the Woman King that they just put out. It's kind of a revisionary tale of history. This is not. It's his paradigm that he was trying to push. He basically stole all of the talkers from Sonetta and then
Oh, oh,
utilized information that they was pushing and just put it out in a better narrative. He's a much better
so they
business.
was frauds too. They was
No, I'm
lying.
not saying that they
James
was
Smalls
frauds.
was
I'm
lying.
saying we've already spent time exposing the flaws of the teaching that they was pushing. That's been done through the conscious community throughout the entire time.
I
That's
bet.
why they don't speak about all those books that they used to. Nobody wants to talk about stolen legacy no more. Nobody wants to get back into that because they spent years exposing the flaws in the information. Not to say that everything about it was not necessary, but it had tons of flaws in it. But here's to say about what FBA is not. It is certainly not at this point a political organization. If it wanted to be anything, that it wanted to fight for reparations, it would first have to establish itself as a political group and then unify around a political objective besides just yelling, give us reparations.
There we
That's not
go.
going to work.
That's true, brother. That's fact. And all we got to do is look who has gotten compensation or reparations around the world. And that is the blueprint.
Right. So now the other thing is, as a business plan, everybody on YouTube tried to create a fan base named around, just like Moorish World. We could join Moorish World, and Tariq is pushing the narrative. I mean, Taharka is pushing the narrative for the Moorish World, but he invited everybody to come and speak in this arena and build other business models. I mean, for you to sit here and say that we have nothing is almost ridiculous in the aspect of the global world, when intellect is your mind, is your main possession of any type of substance. You need to have a high level of intellect in this modern world, which we do have in America. Matter of fact, we have the best education system on the planet. Whether you take advantage of it or not is up to you. But we're not traveling to other countries to go get high levels of education the same way you could get it right here in America if you desire to achieve that. But the FBA, as far as what Tariq is doing, okay, he invested, or he brought forth a museum. Great, that's better on his business plan. He's absorbing every dollar he can, but he's nowhere near what the rappers are doing. The rappers are building paradigms 10 times bigger, economic blocks 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger than any of these YouTube conscious community channels. They haven't arrived to that level yet. But even them, they're not trying to utilize that for a real political block and a movement. Now, I heard you mention Candace Owens, and she's a part of the Turning Point USA. That's a political organization, whether you agree with their movement or not. That's a political organization. They have persuasive communications in politics. Now, when we were in political era, when the FBA presented itself to us, they was pushing for Biden. Was that the smart move? Was that why were they doing
That's
that?
false.
So who was they for? For Trump?
You talking about ADOS, Holmes?
All of it was together.
No, no, it's false.
Okay, so who was they pushing for politically?
ADOS was pushing for Biden.
No, I'm talking about FBA.
FBA was not pushing for neither one. Our stance is hold the vote.
What kind of political move is that going to get you? So you hold the vote, but you want
hold the
reparations.
vote.
You gonna hold the
hold
vote for what?
So who do you suggest vote for?
Well, what you do is don't vote for the candidate who is most against what you're trying to achieve. But you couldn't tell me a political ideology that FBA holds. What is their political ideology?
Political ideology is tangibles for black people. That's what it is. Real simple.
Okay.
All this other,
Okay. So it's
all this same
tangibles.
shit we've been
It's
hearing. The same
tangible.
shit we've been hearing all these years. That's see. This is new shit. We
So
we,
it's
we rocking with new
tangibles.
stuff.
Is tangibles what the government can assist you with? Is that what tangibles are? What you can get from the government?
It
Because
is
we call
get,
that welfare.
it's getting what we owe, sir.
Okay, so if they give you what you owe, you need to become a political group. So until you first achieve that, until you formulate the conversation to become a political group, you shouldn't be talking about making political moves. That should be your first move, is organize and structure yourself as a real political group so that you could participate in the politics in which America does, whatever your perspective wants to be. But that's nowhere near what the FBA is trying to attempt to do.
Right, they not because when Jamaicans form a political group called the Jamaicans, come on, cuz y'all taking this FBA thing too far.
No, I'm just saying you acting as though it's relevant. All FBA is a business plan for Tariq Nasheed so he can absorb some more of this money. That's it. It's nothing it's nothing outside of that.
You can minimize.
Everything
You can
about
minimize
it
that.
has to fill his pocket. If it don't fill his pocket, it's not getting done.
You can minimize it, or that's your opinion. That's not a fact. The fact that you say all it is a business plan. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. Me as a
You
black
just
man.
said it's not a political organization.
Look. Me. It's a lineage, dog.
It's not a lineage. It's not a lineage.
Okay.
Show me any real founders of the country, the names that we can run through right quick, representing what this group is claiming since you claiming to be.
My great grandmother. My family are foundational Black Americans. Are you from here? Are you a foundational Black American?
Yeah, I'm from America.
So basically, what you're saying is,
I came in the conscious community pushing Pan-Africanism. Booker T. Washington, a real founder.
So what you're saying is your family, they didn't do nothing for this country. They didn't build this country. That's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't have any of the rhetoric in the history of Black America, the founders of Black America. They're not pushing any of this conversation that your group is talking about. I came into the conscious community pushing Booker T. Washington, and never did I come on here begging for reparations or trying to formulate an active group to push for reparations.
Good. That's good.
Huh?
That's good. But that's what we doing.
It wasn't in the information. I mean, you can do it. I'm not saying you could go for anything you want, but you got to go for it. If you're going to talk to the rest of us, you got to present yourself as a real group. You can't be a YouTube fan club.
I'm not a YouTube fan club. When you say represent a group, first things first, man. First things first. Y'all trying to jump to, you got to get a political group. That's to come. Right now, we fighting a war with our own people that don't even want to acknowledge that we the foundation of this goddamn country. We can't get past that. We can't get past go. We can't get past that part.
The problem is that there's many communities. We got the Moors, we got the Comedics, we got the Hebrew Israelites, we got the Black atheists. All of us is scrutinizing each other to make sure no frauds get through.
But can I add in?
FBA ain't scrutinized none of the people you just named.
Let me chime in real quick. I think the problem is that we're coming together with no agenda. Everybody else have an agenda, an ambiguous agenda that we want reparations. That ambiguous. What is the pathway? What is the pathway to reparations? Is the thing. What is the checks and balances to reparations? But everybody, ADOS, we want to African descendants of slaves. We want to. Black Lives Matter. Now we got FBA. But what I'm saying is, and just to be critical for this point right here, what is the pathway to all of these things that people say they want? Other than that, only thing we're doing is screaming, give me, give me, give me, give me. We're not putting people in position that has the knowledge to bring this to a reality. This is like from Nagasaki, they put people in position. You feel what I'm saying? So if Tariq Nasheed because that's your bro, and I have nothing against him. But Tariq Nasheed, instead of this is just a critical thought. Tariq Nasheed, if we want to get reparations, then you're going to have to fuel those who understand political science. You have to finance them
Yes,
and
but
put them in position.
I can tell y'all not really up educated.
Who is the political scientist? Who is the
slow down.
political
I'm about to
scientist?
tell you. I can tell that y'all not really done your investigation thoroughly.
No, I'm asking you. Who
I'm
is
about to tell you.
political
I'm about to tell you. What has been going on is, it's been people. We've been.
You have to name some people on this show.
Oh man, I don't know.
This ain't the good show for you.
I don't know their name.
Because listen. Claude Anderson told us a long time ago. Sometimes you might have to just pay a politician to get what you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, look at it like this. If we are going to move the meter, then we're going to have to employ someone with our interests so they can move the meter.
That's one
If
way.
we're not experienced in political science, then we're going to have to pay somebody to help move it for the whole.
I agree. I agree. That's one way to do it.
We're busy being entertained, though. That's one of the things. Let me get my brother Digital Pitballs. You want to share anything else before I get my brother?
No, let him speak. He's been waiting.
Okay, my brother Paul Scott, the minister. Come in, brother.
Good evening, Grand Sheik.
I'm going. I don't know yet, Mr. Scott. I see my brother from my home state. He on me tonight. He on me, brother. Mr. Top Flight, but the floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, good evening to the panel. And let me give my disclaimer first, Grand Sheik. You know my position. I'm for anybody who's doing what they think is necessary, whether it be Tariq, whether it be the Nation, whether it be the Panthers, Black Panther, anybody who thinks it's necessary, doing what they think is necessary to move our people forward. However, I think what we have here, like the movie says, what we have here is a failure to communicate. You remember that old movie, Grand Sheik?
Yeah. What we have here is a failure to communicate.
I think Grand Sheik is talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, brother, you're talking about practical application.
Yes. I need to see the real thing happening in real time. Practical
application. Now, if I could, I introduce an alternative ideology. The thing I practice is called panhoodism. Panhoodism. Panhoodism means the road to uniting all African people starts in your own hood. The road to uniting all African people starts in your own hood. Whether you call yourself Pan-Africanist, FBA, Black nationalists, it got to start in your own hood. We can talk theoretically about going to Africa. We can talk theoretically about uniting the diaspora. But when you got children killing each other right down the block, we can't skip over them to get to Nigeria.
When we gonna do that show?
Hey, let me tell you something.
This is what me and Grand Sheik talked about this morning. This is the panhoodism I'm talking about. Now, as far as ideology, I'm a Garveyite. I believe what Garvey tried to do, uniting all African people. And you know, always Grand Sheik said bring receipts. Everybody should read. If you want to understand the roots of Black nationalism, you got to read this book, Race First by Dr. Tony Martin. Now, Grand Sheik, you asked earlier, has anybody ever tried to send a delegation to another country? And you mentioned a nation.
I know they have, though. I just put it out there.
And you mentioned a nation. Great example. Respect to the Nation of Islam. Great example.
And I can tell you, the Moors has also did that. The brothers in prison right now, but the Moors sent the delegation to Morocco. You know, because Moors like to associate themselves with Morocco. I don't really associate myself with the European influenced government of Morocco, but Moors did, and they sent the delegation, and they was received like kings there. But this is what I'm saying, that I know the history of people from here that has been received and was to be given support. Now, whatever happened with that support, whether the political powers that be wouldn't let him receive it, as in Farrakhan case, when the brother came back from Morocco, he was actually brought up on some trumped up charges as a terrorist, and they got rid of him. So I don't know about that, but I do know that they was received and was given support from a political perspective.
Now we get into the Bogart. Now we get into, I'm getting on my Steve Coakley stuff. We have to be clear why these things were broken up. We have to name the names of why, God tried it. Other people have tried it. We have to be clear and name the names of why these programs to unite African people were broken up. This is an excellent book, Brothers and Sisters, Black Zion and Black Slavery. Excellent book. It talks about, everybody wants to point out where Garvey fell. Garvey never set his foot in Africa. Garvey sent representatives, but it was people like the State Department. See, the State Department actually prevented Garvey. It was the government who was already in Liberia prevented Garvey. And talking about naming the names, nobody wants to deal with Firestone and these rubber companies who were the puppets making sure Garvey didn't go into Africa. So we have to understand his history. And we see the commonality that the war on FBA, the war on the Nation, the war on the Panthers, all have the same origin if we name the names. There's a reason why we have not been able to establish global camaraderie. State Department has been notorious for breaking that up. Anybody who, and somebody mentioned the entertainers earlier, the hip hop artists, anybody who's ever tried to unite African people globally, the State Department, look at Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah. They sent in, was it Count Basie, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Louis Armstrong? No, I think it was Count Basie or Louis Armstrong. Allegedly, when did I say I meant Patrice Lumumba? That's what I meant to say. When he was kidnapped, allegedly the State Department sent in a jazz musician as a distraction. They have even used the Harlem Globetrotters. Read the biography of the Harlem Globetrotters. They used the Harlem Globetrotters as a distraction to prevent African unity. So the State Department has done all these things to make sure we don't have global unity of African people. Now, again, I follow the ideology of Marcus Garvey, Kwame Ture. Kwame Ture said we need to unite all African people. All African people. But there's a force that's behind that, that's making sure, that's working to make sure that never happened. That's why, again, my political ideology is pan-hoodism. Before we talk about Africa, Jamaica, anywhere else, we got to worry about that young brother, sister getting shot at in our hoods right now. Thank you, brother. Brothers.
I got to say something about that.
Bro.
Okay, the floor is yours, brother.
Well, I like what the brother's saying, but, Pan-Africanism don't start with Garvey. And
Right.
when Garvey got to America, he had already come to an established Pan-African paradigm that had already been in effect for 30 years, maybe even longer. And he just simply was a great speaker that could continue to push the torch. He didn't design the movement, but he certainly took it further, right? So that's why I kind of understand the perspective you're coming at by dealing with the hood. But the reason why people are shooting up each other is because we done walked away from morality. This is what that spiritual system that everybody is arguing about, which is the proper God to follow. The lacking of a spiritual system is where you got to get back to. It doesn't matter about organizations and none of that if your spiritual system is flawed and destroyed. Because when you go back to a Garvey movement, his principles came from the Bible. His
That's right.
principles came from morals. Even if we use the Moorish system, the reason why they have been successful to the point that they're doing is because they basing things on morals, on morality. Same with the Muslims. Things are properly put in place when you first build your morals, and then you could deal with your economics.
And I agree with you, brother. And like you said, and you're correct. Garvey was not the first Pan-Africanist. You're talking about Martin Delany. You're talking about Bishop Henry McNeill Turner, who before Garvey had already laid the foundation. Even the saying that's credited to Garvey, Africa for the Africans. Garvey didn't come up with that. Delany came up with that. But the only thing Garvey added was home and aboard. So you're correct, brother.
So the thing about Pan-Africanism is we can give creditation to a slogan, but the only thing we really care about is application. And if you want to give some credit to application, you got to mention Booker T. Washington. He established an institution, and then he developed 5,000 schools and educated the South. That's application to Pan-Africanism, as well as delegations around the world to all types of countries, developing the industrial system in multiple nations through an education system.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is what spawned the other groups that's been successful. The Muslims, the Moors, they were all inspired by this system. And that's why we have these groups still standing today, that in some type of numbers doing something amongst their group. But see, the thing about trying to unite, you cannot unite with different views. What you can do is get with those who believe in what you believe in and make that group become a light to the other groups, that they could build off of what they see you doing. Because we're not going to unite when we have different views.
Now, the only problem I would have with...
I agree. Go ahead, brother.
The only problem I would have with Booker T. Washington, I understand the strategy. I understand the that speech he gave, but it was his tactics. And I'm talking about the Tuskegee machine. The Tuskegee machine was some underhanded stuff, brother. Booker T. Washington and Dr. John Henry Clark talked this. He said both Garvey and Booker T. Washington were correct. But what Booker T. Washington did to Monroe Trotter, Monroe Trotter and W.B. Du Bois, using the Tuskegee machine and saying that everything had to come through him. He had this group of people surrounding him, and he made himself the number one leader. We really have that's really, if we're talking about gatekeepers, he was really one of the first gatekeepers.
One of the things that I want to point out
wait a minute.
Are we really what the purpose of this show, right, is to talk about, and I'm glad y'all called in. Are we really walking the path towards liberation? Or what are we doing? That's the purpose of this show. You know what I'm saying, Pitballs? Like when we see Tariq Nasheed, salute the brother and all that he does. But is that a practical application and path towards liberation? And when I'm talking about liberation, listen to what I'm saying. When I'm talking about liberation, I'm talking about total independence. That's what I'm talking about. Total independence.
To achieve that, you have to declare.
Let's talk with the first step.
You have to first declare independence. Then you have to create a constitution in
No,
order
no, what
to
I'm saying,
control.
before that, I think before that, there have to be some sort of structure for people to unite under to understand the ideal in which people are
That would be
marching
your
toward.
constitution.
I mean,
So
even before the Constitution, there got to be a thought like, we're uniting for this, and this is how we're going to get there. Who's with it? Let's go. And then you design the bones of the Constitution and hold people accountable for
okay.
that.
So even if you were successful on all those fronts, you then have to have a standing army that can defend what you just declared.
Hey, yeah, can I cut it real quick?
Ain't playing tonight. Hold on. Let me
cut it. Let me cut it real quick.
Okay, come on in.
Look here, man. See, this is
We
the difference.
got a lot of people here, so everybody, let's be respectful of time, so everybody can have a word.
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all calling in, man. I love y'all, man. And some sisters need to call in too, because many people get on me because I point out a lot of the ill things that go on in our community and the misappropriation of power and leadership. But this is not that show. We're just having a powwow think tank to see what's really going on. So with that being said, let me give it back to you, my brother.
Yeah, so on 99% of now, respectfully, 99% of the shows in the conscious community consist of this very thing. We going into history, we talking about the armies, we need to get all this theorizing. Look here, FBA said, look, we're delineating, we're FBA, and we're gonna take it from there. And look at the movement that it started. It wasn't no talking, it wasn't no going into 1876. It was, hey, we about to change our name. We about to get independence from the coons and the people that's not rocking with us, not helping us, and stepping on us, right? And then look what's come. It's on everybody's show. FBA is in everybody's mouth, and that's a start right there. Now we in position to get strong. Ain't nobody getting strong talking about all this. Respect to the ancestors and everybody that fought, but we got that. We already got that, cuz like.
And only thing I'm looking for is I hear the talk. You know what I'm saying? But remember, we've heard this before. We heard this with ADOS. We heard this with Black Lives Matter. Although it's a different perspective, but there was no real goal in sight. There was no real goal in sight.
You don't have a goal when you
reparations. Now the question is, show me the pathway to achieve that. That's all I'm saying.
The goal was to delineate, and that is already happening.
Okay, to delineate, right? To delineate, right? Okay, now once you delineate, then what?
We got to get there, dog. Y'all, like I said, we ain't even out the first step. And everybody, like, what's the next step? What we doing? No, our community thinks they see somebody doing something, and they supposed to have it done overnight.
No,
come on, man. We real hard. We real hard on ourselves, man.
No, what the point is this? The point is this: we are all intelligent people. I would mark us to be intelligent people. And if one says that, okay, for me, being a Moorish American, I got the whole goal in mind. And it includes reparation, it includes total liberation. Everything in mind. Do you follow what I'm saying? I don't believe I need everybody on board either. I believe that a small establishment of even 1,500 people can make some things happen. When you understand reparation and compensation, many of the European Jews, the whole didn't get it at one time. Some organizations was to get a part, and this one got a part, and this one got a part because they were spread all around. The state of Israel got a part. So you have organizations that represent it. So I don't believe, I've studied it from a perspective of how other nations have obtained it. So I don't need everybody. I just need a chosen few that's ready to put it all on the line and ride out and go get it. Now, with that being said, I'm asking, now I know the roadmap that I need to take in order to help those who want to walk with me. The only thing I'm asking is show me the roadmap if it's there.
The roadmap is.
And I hear crickets in the background. I'm just
no. Because look here, man. You always want this roadmap. You want this instant blueprint.
Somebody try to sell you on reparations.
Somebody, hey, look, when we give you the roadmap, it's gonna be another show. Look at this roadmap. This roadmap.
Okay, let me show you this. Say, Brother Tahaka Bey. Say Tahaka Bey. What is your roadmap to liberation?
Yes, please. Tell
And
us.
I can quickly give you a small piece to really paint a picture.
So that's your work then. So let everybody else do they think your shit should work.
But
What's
no,
the
I'm
part
just
about-
saying I can explain. This is why the conversation about FBA is so popular, because it's ambiguous at best. And don't nobody want to admit it. It is ambiguous because when I ask you, you really can't give me no definitive answer.
Let me tell you why. Because you're trying to conflate it to a liberation movement. That's what you're trying to do. You're in the wrong category.
No,
You
if reparations is about liberation.
No. We are simply saying we are foundational Black American. That's what it is. You talking about liberation. You trying to compare what you're doing in your life to what that man is saying about delineation and being a foundational Black American.
Okay, I got you. So if you're representing, let's get cryptonomics in and somebody else into. If that's what it is, I get it. If that's what it is, I get it.
B got his mic on.
You know what I'm saying? Foundational Black American. That's what it is. Keep it moving. Tomato. Hold up.
That's you, brother. That's you.
No, let me get who is that? Chocolate. Let me get Chocolate Earth in real quick, and then I'm gonna get Cryptonomics in, and then I'm gonna get B-Bill in. So Chocolate Earth, come on in.
I'm gonna get some room to somebody else, though. Hey, I'm gonna get some room to somebody else. Y'all be good, man. Appreciate you.
Hold up. B-Bill all over the place.
They gotta mute their mics.
Okay, let's get Chocolate Earth in real quick. Chocolate Earth, are you there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, we got a sister.
Great.
Come on, sis. What you got for us?
Yes. Hi, how y'all doing? I wanted to say thank you for dropping the link. Of course. I'm just here to add to the piece that we were talking about, a plan of action. And everything that you just said, I completely understand. However, we're in an opportunity that I personally don't want to miss, and I don't think any of us should if we're looking to better our community. To the point earlier, no, don't eat a whole book. It's not about, we have to unify each and every idea. The different ideas will bring different possibilities within that community. It's about respect and understanding. So once I learned that, as far as what can I do to assist my community, then the first thing is, right now we need housing.
Absolutely.
There's a housing crisis. There's getting ready to be a recession.
That's my fight, sis.
I did go ahead and purchase property. I have land in Arizona. Black people take up 56% of the South. We all live in the South. There is over $3.6 billion worth of property out here that you can buy, no credit, nothing, none of that. Land that our indigenous ancestors lived on, and it's never been touched again. There's ways to build. You don't need the of you can earth build. That's been around since, let's go back to the Aztecs. So it can be taken care of. It can be done. Growing our own food, building our children aren't reading. 85% of our boys are not able to read, and they're in the 7th, 8th grade. These are the things that bother me. We have housing for the elderly.
Sis, breaking up real bad.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The audio is kind of breaking up, but let me say this. What you're talking about takes real work. It takes turning off this camera and putting your hand in the soil and spending your money and your resources to do what you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? What you're talking about is going to take getting dirty.
Well, yes, and I'm doing it.
You don't want to get dirty.
Yeah, and I am. I'm for it. I do. Can I use that? Because I'm gonna have to drop down.
We see on YouTube
because it's tripping. I'm gonna have to come back up.
That we see on YouTube, that we see these doctors, they're not ready to do what it takes to really build a community, and so they philosophize of a community. They philosophize liberation. They philosophize redemption. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to real, where we're going to buy some shovels, we're going to buy some red bricks, and we're going to buy some land, and we are going to build it. We're not going to call a contractor. We're going to call the resources within our group, and we're going to fly everybody out. We're going to live in trailers, and we're going to build this. That's when you see who's who. And until we're ready to do that, we will never have nothing.
Hey, let me say this real quick. You're right, dog. You're 100% right. But everybody is not the soldier.
I see that. Put the money on the building.
Listen, you got the general. The general, he don't get in the trenches and start shooting. He got the sword. He's pointing the tank where to go.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Look,
I agree.
Then you got teachers. You got doctors.
There have not been no marching orders to say we're pulling up a tractor trailer with red bricks on the back. We're pulling up a tractor trailer and the land is here. We need everybody to build.
It's not 1980.
Let me say, I don't want to have a blanket statement. I'm not saying that there is none. I'm just saying that on this social media thing, we never hear nobody make the call and say, I got the land.
We just heard that. We just heard it. We just saw it.
Where?
We just saw this week. A $2 million building in prime real estate.
Where?
Look, you don't have to pull up a truck with bricks. You can send a check. You send a wire transfer. That's called balls. It's called ball shit, man.
So
you send a wire transfer.
Bro, I think you're talking about the museum. I'm not talking about a museum. I'm talking about a community. Power comes from a community. Power comes from a community. Power doesn't come from a museum, brother. Power comes from a community.
Man, real estate.
Shout out to my brother. That's why I said I didn't want to make a blanket statement because the hereafter is in the making. Shout out to my brother, my beloved brother, Ben X. That's right.
Real estate is real estate.
No, what I'm saying.
Can I say one thing?
I need to get my brother B-Ville in too, and Crip. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing before people say, well, you know, Paul was up there talking all that stuff and didn't have any solutions. One solution we're doing in our community, and I will say this, I think it's a big puzzle. If everybody just takes one piece of the puzzle and does them, we can put this thing together.
I agree.
One thing we're doing in my community, Durham, North Carolina, we put together a free Black bookstore. And what we did was we got people to donate books. We go out in the hood and we give out instead of just teaching or talking.
I think that's another conversation. I think that's another conversation. I think what I'm trying to gear this conversation towards is that when we look at social media and we're looking at the state of our people, I mean, what's going on in this world? Like, we have no defenses. We have no resources. We have no place of refuge.
I got that, Grand Sheik. But what I'm talking about as far as solutions, you know, we can have, as long as everybody picks one solution. What I was saying was, my one solution is to educate the hood. So what we do is we stand on the corner and pass out free books, whether it be Chancellor Williams, whether it be J.A. Rogers, and educate the hood. Not that's the only solution, but that's just one solution.
But what I'm saying is, the only thing I'm saying is that we look at YouTube celebrities, you know what I'm saying? And people can probably describe me as one also, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, what are we really doing to march towards true liberation? And I said true liberation is total detachment. You know?
Right, but it begins with what I'm saying, Grand Sheik. It begins with.
We should be past that now. We need the people to put. We got millionaires.
We should be. We should be.
We need to put people to put money into resources for refuge. You feel what I'm saying? And for building. And I ain't talking about a museum. I'm not talking about, those are good things. Once the community is built, then we go to the museum. But without the community, we have nothing.
But you think we're there? You think we're already, I respectfully disagree. I think we should be there mentally, but if we look at the condition of outside of this panel, outside of those who watch Moore's World TV, the streets aren't there yet, brother. You got brothers and sisters
They
out
are.
there literally killing each other,
No,
man.
if you say they're not there, they're not there. Until we get there, we can get it where it needs to go. People are waiting every day. People are waiting every day. But many of us are not coming with the practical solution that makes people vibrate on moving in that direction. That's all that is. Many of us are not speaking the language of the people. Like this generation that's listening to Kodak Black, listening to Little Baby, listening to all that. Some of us get religious and get too big for that. The sister that's smoking crack in 2022, you know what I'm saying? When we know crack is out of style for even the craziest junkie, you know what I'm saying? We look at her like she's super crazy, as if she is expendable. So the point that I'm making is most people on YouTube do not even know how to interface with those who really crying for help. But when you go talk to them, they can't even speak the language. Elijah Muhammad, as well as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but most recent, Elijah Muhammad built his whole movement on those who was truly downtrodden. He didn't build his movement on some super educated people, on some upper echelon people in the Ivy schools. He built it on some impoverished, struggling addicts, alcoholics, hookers, and it was a powerful movement.
Hey, let me say this, I gotta go.
Because he can speak the language.
Let me say this and I gotta go. The message, man, look, it sounds like we waiting for one or two or a group of people to come do the work. Everybody gotta do the work. You got people that you got people that's out there directing and showing people how to do things and make moves and get things, like real things, like, you know what I mean? And that's just what it should be. We can't wait for this imaginary group to come together and start doing this, that, and the third. Everybody got to get in the streets and make moves. And that's what I rock with.
But you definitely, while you're in the streets, you're gonna need a goal. You need to have a goal, or you know what I mean? If a person, you say used to come up Baltimore and get the packs, right? You know what I'm saying? What was your goal? To double up.
The smoke, hey.
That was your goal, to double up, or you wanted to get lifted.
Hey, I want to smoke.
But what I'm saying is the goal is important. If there is no goal, that's a problem. And if it is a goal, but there's an ambiguous road to the goal, that's an even major problem. Because now you're setting the goal where there is no path to it. And
why
now
you keep saying there's no goal? There is a goal. There is a goal, dog.
I know. This is what I said. I gotta let B-Bill in. I say if there's a goal.
I'm gone. I love y'all, man.
Okay, peace, brother. I say if there's a goal, right? Yet the path to the goal is ambiguous, then the goal just becomes a carrot. It just becomes a carrot or a distraction. But when there's a goal and you can describe definitively the path to that goal, then we working with something. You understand what I'm saying? In this age of social media. Let me get B-Will in. B-Will, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but stand by. I got to get B-Ville in the building. And then Cryptonomics, then you. Well, let me get Cripple about to blast off real heavy. Let's go, Crip. The floor is yours.
What up, bro? What up, man? Hey, I just, you know me, man. You know me, man. You know me. I'm just trying to keep this conversation on track, man, because we got all kind of stuff going on. Let me just say this. This is just from what I know, right? Because I'm in these YouTube streets real heavy. And this is what I know of FBA. FBA is not political.
Okay.
But I want to say that they're not political yet.
Right.
Yet. So when people start talking about FBA, it was really for the establishment or to bring upon a focus for reparations, right? Not to say the FBAs are going to bring forth reparations, but it's really to put a promotive and to highlight the people who built this nation and put the FBA title on that.
But Crip, do you know that ADOS was the same thing? That was their argument too.
But ADOS didn't have a lot of FBA people in it.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that was the same principle of what ADOS was about.
But it had a lot of them people in it, man. That's
Oh,
the whole thing. It had a lot of those people in it, so it was like Black Lives Matter, right?
I got you.
So what I want to get to is that FBA is more of a title. I mean, we could say African Americans a title to help us identify, but it really doesn't say much, right? Because it's got Africa in it. But when he put down the tenets of the FBA, he's talking about the lineage. He's talking about the people that actually built this land, right? I put it in the chat. 80% of this stuff in this nation, we built it and
Absolutely,
still building it,
no doubt.
right? But we don't get the credit, and we don't have anything to show for it. So the FBA is almost like an umbrella to say, hey, you're FBA, but you got a lot of these immigrants coming in trying to say that, and they're benefiting off of our backs, right? We're still working, we're still slaving, and they getting that.
I'm
What's
sorry,
up?
but I think a lot of the immigrants that come in and they able to take opportunities that we fail to take. It's not that we don't have the opportunities. Many of them we just pass up. Many
True.
of them we pass up. I see it every day, bro. I see it every day. When I was
Yeah.
growing up, we would see that the older brother was sitting there on the steamroller, in the dump truck. And now we start to see in the streets of Baltimore, those are Mexicans now, that they're no longer immigrants per se, because they were born here from parents that have came here. Many people are so out of the loop that they think Mexicans or people south of the border that are here are those who just jumped the fence. That's not
Right.
true. Many of them are citizens here now, and they taking the McDonald jobs that we
And that's
were-
cool. And
we-
that's cool.
so
That's
what I'm saying is, many of us, our people, we don't even take some of the opportunities that exist, and that's just a fact and is an observation. And this is the observation I see in Baltimore City. And I told my son this the other day. My son is in the process of taking over my my home improvement and my property management business, right? That I put together from scratch. And I told him, I said, listen, one of the things that you have to understand is that there's such a disproportion of people in Baltimore, brothers and sisters, that don't take advantage. They just don't take advantage of it. I say you got the opportunity to take advantage of a lot of opportunities, because if in the middle of the day you can catch 100 people standing on the corner.
okay, but peep game. So
Let me just wrap it up. So what I'm saying is, to blame immigrants on the total problem.
no, he ain't blaming them. He's not blaming immigrants. What he's trying to do is he's just trying to establish a slot for us to say this is who we are, because we have a lineage here, and we had the bloodline that built this nation. Now, I say that because I started out saying FBA is not political yet. Now, in the event that this does go political, you're going to have to identify who are you fighting for and who gets the riches at the end of the day, because keep in mind, they even throw every day politicians at us claiming that they for us, and they ain't. They're these immigrant people like Kamala Harris. She ain't black, and they came all day trying to say she black. Obama wasn't black, and they try to push these pseudo people our way, and we don't have any way of saying or delineating who is actually an FBA. That's what I got from it.
Well, the whole thing is, though, Crip, until we organize to combat this political conspiracy to put people before us that look like us, that's not us, we don't have nothing. Calling ourselves more FBA, African American, that ain't gonna change that. Putting people in position that is us and have the same ideal,
But that's where it starts.
is what's gonna change. You feel
That's
me?
where it starts though to get people in that framework because it's very basic. It's a basic thing. I hadn't even thought about it. Is to say if you have people in your bloodline that was here, and a lot of us have it. We got the old Bibles with the pictures and our ancestors and all that stuff in it. We know who we are and we can prove that and say who we are, whereas other people who come from the islands over here jumping on thinking that they down with it and they're not, and they're the ones that are getting in the way of the political process for us.
The only thing I'm saying, I think we already knew that. I think we already knew that we weren't typically exactly like one who came from Jamaica, or typically like one that came from Haiti, or typically like, I think we already knew that. The thing that we don't know how to do is come together and obtain power. Like, I think, like, when I look at Kodak Black, I know he's Haitian. You know what I'm saying? I know he's Haitian. I know
A lot of
Kodak.
people don't know that, bro.
What I'm saying is, I know he's Haitian, and I know that his political views are not going to be as sound as my political views. I know that, and as a leader, it's up to us to teach people that, listen, this and what Minister Paul said about panhoodism. I get that. Now, I might not call it panhoodism, but I say all the time, start locally, organize locally. And you know who you grew up with. See, this internet thing has become a hodgepodge, if you will, of confetti of all of us all over the internet coming together under a hashtag. See, that stuff would never change nothing because politics always start locally. You know who your neighbor is, your brother is, your cousin is. And on a national level, we will never move anything until we grassroots locally.
But wouldn't you say this too, Grand Sheik, is that politically, just like the Italians, just like the French, just like the Met, they all stick together, but they do so because they identify each other based on some type of lineage. And
Yeah,
that's what I think FBA is trying to do.
I understand that, but and I gotta say, I understand that. However, when you look out your door, you know who's who. You know the political. Say, for instance, I look out my door in Park Heights, right? I look out my door in Park Heights. I know who's who. They understand police brutality. They understand the murders in Park Heights. They understand all of that. If I don't have to say you have to be FBA, you already know. Now let's move. So I think that it becomes the social media movement as opposed to a practical grassroots movement to affect change. It sounds
Now,
good.
now, granted, I'll give you that. I don't think FBA
Feels good.
is the FBA at the end of the day is not the political movement. That's what I said at the beginning. I don't think that is what you're getting at.
But I'm saying though, even if it turns into one, it will never be successful unless it's grassroots local in every city. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't get much out of national elections.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's anywhere close to liberate. I don't even think it's designed for that. I just think it's there so that people stop getting bamboozled with the whole Obama, Kamala Harris type stuff. You know, people got to get out here and know who's who, like you said.
But I'm saying I'm not knocking Tariq Nasheed, but I just don't think that as we look at it from a political science point of view, as we look at it from the historical point of view, this is not a true pathway to get us up out of this situation. This is an identity thing. You know what I'm saying? And I get that.
Right.
Identity thing. And let me tell you what, you know how many identities we went through? We went from Negro, we went to Black, we went to colored, we went to Hebrew, we went to Moor, we went to, and we could go on and on. Now we got ADOS, we got Afro-American, African-American, and now foundational Black American. You know what I'm saying? And so at some point, we got to ask ourselves, have these titles and labels, have they changed the meter? Have they moved the meter an inch? And I say no.
I agree. I don't think they any of them are designed to move it.
Organized.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were designed to do that. And to that point is, if he ever did try to push it in that type of angle, I think that would be fraudulent. Let's just call it what it is. It'd be fraudulent. I don't think he's done that though.
But
For the
he
most
got the
part,
Bible.
he's trying to give credit in this nation to the people who built this nation, who we know are FBA by lineage
But I think
only.
we've
That's
been
why he had
saying
the
that.
museum.
I think we've been saying that before the term FBA was coined. But when one raise a flag up, it automatically give the connotation of a political movement. Wouldn't you agree?
I think for people who might not be real informed, it would give that type of tone.
All right.
If they're not informed on it, it would give
Well,
that type of tone.
let me get bro well ill. He look like he over there steaming. He about to later SmackDown like The Rock on WWE Monday Night SmackDown. Brother, come on in, brother. What you got for me?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace, brother.
And I just
This crazy, bro. You got fired up and you hit that link, bro. This is crazy. All of these years and now, hey, Crip. Hey, Crip. What did I tell you, Crip? We're gonna see what this do. This is my brother here. I love this brother. I know that. I've been to his home in Chicago, brother. This is my.
yeah.
It's
So,
all good,
so
brother.
you know where it is then with me.
Absolutely,
Being a Moorish American Muslim.
absolutely. But I
With
want you.
that said,
I want your honest views on what we're talking about, though, because this is a discussion. This is not a debate. This is just, I want
Right.
everybody, you know what I'm saying? Honest views so we can get some understanding, because I don't know much about it. I'm gonna be clear. I'm
Right,
just
right.
speaking from a Moorish American perspective.
and as I was waiting to get put on, you know, I should have been taking notes or something, but that's how I feel, like I'm unprepared or whatnot. But man, this brother is he's demonstrating that according to how we speak to each other in more science. But give honors to the last speaker, the last brother that was on. He said it's not a political movement. It is a lineage. He's addressing the lineage, right? Foundational Black American. As far as it not being a political movement, demanding reparations, that's a political move. That's politics. Now, it's on a foundational level. I mean, it's building towards something. I don't think this brother should be getting any type of smoke from our own people for what he's doing. What has any of these names done? Hebrew Israelite and more. I'm gonna leave the Moorish out. That's okay. Let me say this too. Okay, honest to Tariq Nasheed for never disrespecting Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He been addressing a lot of buffoonery, and he may not be clear on this sovereignty type of Moors or the temple type of Moors, and that's understandable. But that's a problem that the Moorish Americans supposed to be fixing. That ain't on him. But honest to that brother for never disrespecting Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And what he has done with the whole FBA thing, he is pushing the needle. I don't know about them other names. I know what the Prophet did. That's something else. But he is pushing the needle. How is he pushing the needle? He's addressing things. He's talking to the people, man. He's talking directly to the heart of the people. He's bringing up situations, experiences that I've had in my life that I can say, oh, I concur. Man, I never thought about it like that. I have thought about this, but I kind of brushed it off. Yeah, we here in the States, we see our people, this pigment, we see each other as, you know, everybody and whatnot, but they don't have that same feeling towards us. And I don't want to beat a dead horse with that. You got to tune in to the brother. He's a elegant speaker, and hell, man, that's power when you can get on the internet and have people give you $1 million in over a month and then not abuse it.
Let me see.
But what I wanted
fact.
to address, one other thing I wanted to address was you said something about these immigrants coming over here, and we're just not up to the type of work that they're up to.
I don't mean it like that. I don't want to take that approach. What I'm saying is that I'm watching them get the jobs that we used to have.
Yeah.
And I'm watching us, and I'm only speaking this city. I'm watching us, watching them do our jobs.
Right. Yeah, and it's a reason for that. Because we're American citizens. There's a debt owed to us. We put in a labor. It's in our genes. They teach this type of stuff. if I'm an immigrant in Africa or whatever, I'm gonna start at the bottom and scrape and do whatever I got to. No, we want fair pages for fair wages. Back when Trump got on them big corporations down south, I believe it was Mississippi. It was like a chicken farm or something, and got all of them illegals up out of there. The next day, it was hundreds of brothers and sisters applying for jobs.
But
Yeah,
let me
fair wages for fair pay. We ain't trying to be scraping for no couple of dollars, picking up galvanized pipes or whatever. For no, we greater than that. And
I understand.
that brother's addressing a lot of issues that haven't been addressed. One's just been lacking out here,
But my thing is
especially these so-called religious type of site organizations or whatnot. People been dropping the ball. He is pushing an envelope on something in your consciousness. The people are getting together and in tune with this, addressing stuff. We not going with the same old get along type of
So
spirit.
that's what I'm saying.
Spirit that's changing.
Only thing I'm saying with that, I hear everything you're saying. But now, once people are gravitating to the platform, what are the marching orders?
Marching orders are demand reparations and get on code.
Okay, what is
Don't undermine
that's another term. That's another term that we have to define. When I say what are the marching orders, I'm saying, okay, we're demanding reparations. How does that happen?
It happens by start speaking it to your people, the ones that's ill-informed, not informed, but don't care. Because you would talk to FBA as it goes, it'll be your mama or whoever, and they'll just dismiss it. It's like we done got to the point where we've just become numb of the whole thing. Oh, we don't need reparations. Everybody's everybody.
I don't think what I'm saying. I think there's a misunderstanding. If you talk to mama about reparations and you're just talking about reparations, why would mama pay any attention to that? If you tell mama, this is what we need. If you tell mama, this is what we need to get to here, can I get your support? I guarantee you mama will be with that. Many times that we talk about reparations, we don't have a roadmap. So I'm saying is you can't present mama or cuzzo with saying we getting reparations or we want reparations, but you can't paint a picture of how we getting reparations. Because people got bills, people are struggling. They're not trying to hear we getting reparations. They want to hear, okay, show me how.
No. All right, the call has to be made. It's like we know how the slave mind worked. We like more science, this and all of that, right?
What I'm saying, but brother, listen, I don't know your exact age. What I'm saying is, how many calls have to be made? This has been talked about for the last 50 years. So now it's time to put something concrete together so people can fall under the umbrella and execute. That's the type of leader I think we need today.
Okay, we not.
I don't think
we're not on the type of leader vibe. That's the whole thing. We not on that wave. That's not the wave anymore.
I agree with that, man. I don't think we on that one leader wave no more. I don't even think civil rights came by way of one leader. You got a spokesperson, but you ain't had no leader.
Yeah, but guess what? You had a centralized figure.
Yeah, and they got killed.
He was one of the centralized figures, right?
He got shot though.
Okay, so check it out though. Because he was the centralized figure, all the energy of the people was expressed through him, and that's what got things done. You know what I'm saying? And you had other key figures too, but he was the most popular.
I don't know, man. I think when them people got together and they seen them thousands of people descend on a city, that's what gets stuff done, man. Because when they had that boycott and they was shutting stuff down and them buses and then, I mean, that was what you were talking about, that local stuff. But I don't think people get local until you actually have a way of identifying who is going to be a part of this.
But who expressed the concern?
Now you're talking about
it's always a central figure that expressed the concerns. The people just don't show up. There's a central figure that expressed the concerns for the whole constituents. So whether you don't want to call it a leader or whether you don't want to call it, we don't need leaders anymore, you need somebody to express the concerns, or you got anything but chaos.
Well, I think that's part of it, bro. Is
you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like I agree with what you're saying, bro, and it goes back to what I'm saying. Like you got to have these talks and discussions with your people and spread the word. The energy builds up. There's a brother, Marcel Dixon. Like honors to that brother for what he did down south. He was pushing the envelope politically. What you're talking about, being a representation for the voices of this concept, foundational Black Americans, to delineate and distinguish us from others who have been taking advantage of the resources that's supposed to be given to us. While we continue to be oppressed, this is way out of hand. It's like we got children now. We in a 22,000. We in the future. We living in Total Recall Terminator years. What's going on? Like, nah, we need to address this. And anybody that got a problem with distinguishing themselves from others, I got a problem with you. Like personally, like I can't get in line with that, because these brothers and sisters from the diaspora, whatever, you never seen them in our Baptist churches. They wasn't ever coming around us like that. We always had that spirit and maintain that spirit about us.
See, my thing is this. When we look at other political organizations that actually got reparations and that actually got some form of liberation, let's take the PLO for example, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Although they have slaughtered many of those people, although they have slaughtered many of them leaders, you know what? They are recognized as a sovereign people, and they continue to fight towards the goal that has been put on the table years before most of them was even born. And they continue, and the goal doesn't change. The plan doesn't change. And they continue to push and press on. So that's what I'm saying with us as a people. Every few years, we got something new. It's something new. It's something new. But when you look at other groups of people, when they establish something that they agree upon, and the Palestinians, trust me, the Palestinians, they come from different tribes, but they on that Gaza Strip together. So, and my concept is, until we have a concrete plan to get to a certain goal, we're going to be short. And we can call ourselves whatever we want. We call ourselves Moors, FBA. And let me do this real quick, though. Let me do this, man. I'm loving this conversation. Let me real quick. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere, Will. You know, you can call me and beat me up later. But with that being said, don't go nowhere. I want to get B. Bill up here, and I want to get some other speakers up here. But Crip, don't go nowhere, Crip. I need you.
Nah, I ain't going nowhere, man.
With that being said, B. Bill, come on, bro.
Salute to Hakim.
My apology, you kept dropping out, bro.
I know. I kept getting a bad signal. What I wanted to say is this. Before we can find a solution, we got to get to the root cause of the problem. In the words of my man, Kareem Blizz Johnson, we can't fight with rotary phones in a smartphone 8. Nah, listen what
that's my bro.
Yeah, check this out, TB. This is what I'm saying. We can't fight Jim Crow no more. We dealing with Jim Esquire now. The times have changed. The tools that the forefathers gave us, like Marcus Garvey and all of those people, we have to come up with a different solution, because marching and kumbaya is not going to work for us. You know, social media is a tool. It's a double-edged sword. It could be good and it could be bad. What we need to do is try to focus and bring the left side negativity to the right side and try to turn this over where we can. This is a form of communication that you can reach people, but you have to say something that sparks their interest. You know, we're fighting a 1940s war. I mean, a 22 war with 1940 tactics. You have to change the game plan. It's like a football game. When they adapt to what you're doing, we have to move over and do something. Now, me and you had. Go ahead. What you was gonna say something?
I agree with you, and it seems like every few years, it seems like we just change the name, but we stick to the same game.
No, we're not changing the name. You know what we're doing? We're moving the goalposts in the basket. At one time, it's a basketball basket. Then the next time, it's a football goalpost. Then the next time, it's a home run field. We have to focus, and we have to get a plan and know who we're dealing with. the laws and all of that stuff that was put into place that we're still using to fight and marching, we shall overcome, kumbaya, and all that. We have to get a different tactic. That's not working.
I agree with that. And you know what? I don't think one of the tactics is social media. I think, like you said, it's the gift and the curse. I think social media is to unite people, but but ultimately you got to come together and take action. Feeling good about FBA, feeling good about Moorish, feeling good about Black Power. That's good for social media. But on the ground, what's the plan? That's what ultimately have to take place. And you know, just telling us that we FBA and that you Moorish, I tell Moors all the time. And Moors ain't no quick fix pill. Look at the Moors, they have crazy. They have crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, look on the internet. So the thing is that until we are ready to organize on the ground and move out, we're not going to have much.
Yeah, that's true, because you're not going to get no traction if you ain't got no rubber on the ground.
Exactly.
You know,
let me get my brother, soon as you finish, pass it to my brother, Sincere Love to God, soon as you finish.
Okay, he could go ahead right now. And I just want to get that.
Oh, he FBA. I see it. FBA. Okay, let me get it, Bill. FBA. Hey, brother, let me tell you, I know nothing much about it. I just know that it's a connection to the originators of this land who helped build it from an identity perspective, as well as a contribution to what we have been able to enjoy even until this day, the structure, the infrastructure, everything. But maybe you can give us and enlighten us a little bit more and give us the goal as well as the plan what FBA is. And I didn't want this whole show to be about that, because I wanted to bust Malik upside his head for 30 years and not doing nothing.
Okay. Well, first
I'm
of all, I
sorry.
appreciate
Can you guys
having me on.
hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I apologize. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Indeed.
All right, am I good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed, man. So yeah, I appreciate you for having me on and even having the discussion overall. And I also appreciate the fact that you said that you don't know much about it, and you're asking some important questions for people that does not tapped in. For people that's not tapped in, these are the questions that should be asked. But Foundational Black Americans is just a name that describes a specific lineage, a specific ethnic group that has really never been defined before. I hear you saying we keep coming up with all these different names, we keep changing our names every so often, but it's not really true. When you look at it like this is something that's never been done, because we are naming and describing ourselves as a unique ethnic group. Now, Black people, if you're talking about Black people globally, there has been different names that have been attached to us, but most of them have been given to us by our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And we go along with it. Negro, colored, Black, you know what I'm saying? All these names have been given to us. And now, as Foundational Black Americans, meaning those of us who are non-immigrants, just to keep it simple, you know what I'm saying? Just to give a simple explanation of it. Those of us in America, Black melanated people in America who are non-immigrants, and we could trace our family's lineage back to the killing fields of the American slavery in the South. We have always been lumped in with every other group around the planet. All of these names that we have gone by has never distinguished us from people from immigrant backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? This is the point of it, is to have that distinction, because we have a unique grievance with the United States government. And so everybody else getting lumped in with that grievance dilutes the issue.
And I'm gonna tell you, that's why I subscribe to being a Moorish American, because my position is that being a Moorish American is unique. It has been misappropriated and misunderstood. But I can explain it in great detail in context. And so that's where I stand with being a Moorish American. That is unique to us. It can be defined by us.
Unique to who? Unique to who?
To us who subscribe to it. Same as FBA.
So this is, but no, it's not the same as FBA. It's not the same as FBA.
I didn't say it was the same. I know it's nowhere near the same.
Okay, I'm trying to get an understanding of when you say the Moorish title is unique to us. Who is the us?
For those who subscribe to it.
Okay,
because
now this is the difference.
You have to proclaim it in order for you to even get to scratch the surface to understand it.
Right.
Just like
Right.
I'm trying to get you to help us to understand FBA.
Right.
And when
And,
people understand it, then they can proclaim it.
right. And I totally understand that.
Can I,
And the
can I
difference
ask
is
a question?
one
Can I
second.
ask a question?
One second, brother.
Okay,
Just let me get
go
this
ahead,
point.
bro.
The difference is FBA is not something that you can sign up for and become a part of. Either you were born as a part of that lineage or you weren't. It's just a new title that we are
Right.
now developing, and it's starting to reach critical mass in reality. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to reach critical mass of people that's understanding that we are connected to a certain lineage that is separate and distinct from other Black people around the world. Because we never looked at ourselves that way. We just looked at ourselves as one big global Black family, while everybody else has a unique ethnicity. I'm Jamaican, I'm Haitian, I'm Yoruba.
That's what I'm telling you. That's Moorish American is.
Okay, but Moorish American, you can become a Moorish American. You're not.
No, we don't subscribe. You can't be. We go by the ideal that.
So if you're from
Moorish-
Jamaica, if you're from Jamaica, you can't be a Moorish American.
No, absolutely
asking.
not. You can be Moorish Jamaican, not Moorish American. Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask the brother a question now?
Yeah, just be there.
Okay. What would be your preferred form of reparation?
Oh, reparations has to start with cash payments. It has to start with cash payments.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
foundation.
Now I want to ask you a question. Could you imagine if they gave every African American person here $200,000, $300,000 or $400,000? To me personally, for reparations, what I would ask for is no taxes until I die. If you're a Black American, 1, land, 2, free education for all Black Americans that are 3 years old and older for the rest of our lives. If we all got, say everybody, they gave everybody $500,000. Could you imagine the foolery that would be going on with that? I don't think cash is the answer.
Well, what I'll say to that is I don't have a low self-esteem when it comes to my people. I don't look at us as buffoons that just don't know what to do with their money. I understand our history. We came fresh off the plantations and built Black Wall Streets all around the country with no education, no what do you call it? Financial literacy or any of that. We were
that's
fresh
right.
off the plantations and went around and built these prosperous communities all around the country. So I believe in my people. But number 2, tax exemption is a good thing, and I believe that should be part of the reparations package. But tax exemption alone is not going to get a homeless brother off the street. You know what I'm saying? And now with the money, you could buy land and you could buy education. Now go ahead.
No. I want land and money. I'm not saying that they're buffoons, but what I'm saying is, what a person that never had money, you don't have to be a buffoon. You could be a well-educated person. If you never really had them stacks and you get it, you're going to go ham. I'm not saying my people are buffoons.
Some people will.
Hey, it don't even matter though, man. I mean, you talking about one person, man, but we talking about a collective. What if the collective got paid? Now you ain't talking about just one person going ham. You talking about a whole group of people.
Thank you.
Some people will go ham. Some people will go ham with their paper, but that's their prerogative. The point of the matter is, those people that may or may not go ham, they are owed a debt. And so if you hit my car and you damage my vehicle and you damage my body, you cause bodily injury to me, it doesn't matter if I'm a crackhead. You owe me a debt for the damages that you caused to me. So if I choose to get my money and go smoke crack, that's my prerogative. And so reparations is a debt. We don't have to argue about what people are going to do with the money. We don't have to babysit what's going to happen with the money.
In a form, wouldn't that be giving them the money back to them? Think about it.
Some people will, but I believe enough of us will build institutions and infrastructure so that we could create our own educational systems.
Let me say this.
So on and so forth.
I want to bring Michael Davison in, but I just wanted to add, there is no doubt in my mind that we're owed a debt. The thing is the process of receiving it. The screaming and hollering and the cheerleading, we need to get paid, we need this and that. That's my issue. I haven't seen no critical plan put on a table or a round table discussion of this is going to be A, this is going to be B, until we get to Z, and then we're there. I haven't seen that.
I apologize.
Hold on one second. I just say that it seems like every few years we hear a lot of reparation within the last 20 years. Reparation. But within the last 20 years, we have not seen any critical step-by-step plan from the conversation to the bank account or the land that we speak of. I think that should be
Could I just step in and say I do
me
have
get,
that plan
Dr.
after this gentleman? Thank you, if that's all right.
You just dive on in. What you got to say, sis?
Well, gentlemen, I will tell you this. I have that plan from the rooter to the tutor. And the only reason I say that is because I've spent the last going on 6 years studying the political and economic scene of our people. I do understand everything that the gentleman that you guys have been saying. However, we do need to build our own infrastructure. To the gentleman, I apologize if I don't say your name correctly, because it's a beyond the time of sincere. Okay, it is beyond the time of what we think Black people may do, or what they may or may not do with money, because you could do it like this. You could have where you have to take a class on, just give them the economic class to let them know, okay, here's things that you could do with your money. They do that when you get a FAFSA or a loan from the government. I understand that in the background, we feel like we can't build again past what we've learned in history. At this point, this is the best time to do it. Land is cheap. I just put $25 down on a 1.33 acre piece of property. I can fit over about 30 1,200 square foot homes on that, and charge $600 to $800 a month max, and still make a great profit off of that. I know that sometimes we forget the part of, yes, I would love to see us be treated the way we're supposed to be treated, receive the reparations that we're supposed to receive. But however, if we do not come together, and when I say come together, I'm not talking about the whole community. I'm talking about the like-minded people who want to see something happen. We can build our own schools. We can build our own hospitals. We can build our own clinics. We can offer free psychology to, the people, our mental health. We can make sure that we have gated communities, that we can take care of our own. And I am to the point at this point.
I agree with the system. Everybody can't go.
Can somebody find a person that knows the actual plan from the conversation to the land or the bank account? You know what I mean? Because we got communities in South Carolina that actually have a community there. They're thriving.
That's it. You can go from.
You had that. But what I'm saying, when we're talking about Malika Zulu Shabazz, 30 years screaming Black Power. Tariq brings a new wave in with FBA, and so we're looking at yesterday and we're looking at today. And only thing I'm asking, I'm not knocking anybody if that's what somebody thinks. I'm asking, like, when does the conversation turns into application? What do we do?
It turns.
I don't think it's there yet.
Excuse me. May I say this? I have to tell you this. Here's the situation I'm in. I have been on YouTube since December, meeting and talking to different people. I started my own channel, did all that. Went to different people, different panels to speak. It has taken me a minute to get to the place that I've used every resource I could to get as far as I can. I'm ready to put my hands in the dirt. That's how close I am. I'm from Arizona. The West has nothing but land available. So you purchase your land. You purchase up to how many acres? Let's go if we all put in on that, if that was the case, or just one person. However, you can have up to 40 acres of property. You can put a whole village on 40 acres of property. With that information, it only has to be 30,000 people living in an area to change the House representative count for that state. Once you do that, you have the ability to take that money, because we're still going to be in making money for the town, for the county, for the state. Arizona, for instance, the only thing that they have going for them to keep them going is the federal prisons that they carry. So if you have programs,
how many people do you have working with you?
Yes, sir.
How many? Because what I'm saying is, Because that's what I mean. We need community. That's another thing. We need
Can,
community.
So
Well, I
check
will,
it, check it.
and no,
can I ask the sister?
excuse
Can
me,
I
one
ask the
second.
sister?
Yes, yes,
Can I
sir.
ask the sister one question? Okay, let me ask you this. You sound
Yes,
like
sir.
you're well versed. What's the population in the Black United States African American community? What's the population between the younger people and the older people? Do you know like the percentage?
Well, let's see. If you go down, if you're speaking from boomers to
Oh,
Gen
yeah,
Xers
yeah,
to
yeah.
millennials,
No,
going
just
to
below
that point,
Gen Z or Gen X until to seniors.
okay. So we have a total of 40 that have filled out the census. We have a total of 46 million Black people in this country currently.
Allegedly.
Okay, and now my question.
Right.
Okay, right. Now my question to you: of that number, which one? Which more does the scale tilt on? Seniors or youth?
Seniors.
Okay,
We've got the
so
highest
we got more.
population of. The reason I say that, gentlemen, and I know you're shaking your head, no, I work in the field. I know that there's a lot of Black men who are alone, living in different communities. There's no community for the Black women who are on the streets, Black veterans who are also elderly and homeless. So there's a lot of key points, key different demographics that we can take care of. And if it is an issue of dealing with the community or not, we were able to spend within a pandemic $1.6 trillion as Black people in this country,
Right,
and it
and
was down by 11 billion.
my final question to you, and then I'm gonna let somebody else go. Now, with that percentage
sir.
you have, now you said the older people versus the younger people, right? Now, just
Yes,
say
sir.
if Biden just lost his mind and gave us reparations. Do you think
Okay.
that people will want to get together and do a kumbaya community, as you said, or ball out?
They're gonna ball out of control.
Listen,
I
it doesn't
think-
listen, it doesn't take
Well,
everybody. The
I'm
sister
gonna
said
say-
like-minded individuals.
That's I agree with my brother Sincere.
Right.
It's not gonna take
to
everybody.
answer,
I don't look at
to
that from a more perspective.
right. And that's the thing. We continue to stay on this road where we think it's going to be. And I apologize. I find that using the kumbaya setup it's demeaning in the sense of we're talking about building for people to have somewhere to lay their head at night, to feel safe.
Okay,
We can
yeah,
have
I
gated
understand.
communities just like the next.
I understand.
But I'll tell
My
you,
sister,
and I'll
my
pass
sister.
the mic.
Let me get
My
Michael
sister,
Davis in.
No,
I understand that. I understand that. But
thank
what I'm saying to you, we can have the gated community, we can have all of that. But at the end of the day, who controls the gate and who controls the water, the spigot that the water comes out of?
And I agree with that. Let me
Right.
say this. Let me say this. I
But
want to get
here's my.
I'll
wait. Yes, I'll wait.
I got to get him in, and I want to get him in because I want to hear his perspective on it too. But before you come in, I gotta honor my brother Cryptonomic. He said FBA is not there yet, and I can respect that because what I'm looking for is the actual roadmap because we have seen so many different variations of this fight to liberate our people. And I'm gonna let Michael Davidson talk, and then I'll come back and I'll get FBA, my brother Sincere, back on because he said, "Come on, brother, Michael Davidson, come on, bro." And then after my brother Sincere, I'll bring my brother Will back. He got his thoughts together. Now he ready. He about to bust me. Oh man, Susie, come on, he done blanked out.
Yeah, he was freezing up over there.
Hey,
So Pete Game, is everybody on the panel?
Briefly.
Is everybody on the panel FBA though?
No, not me.
Where's your family from?
That makes sense.
Where's your family from?
I want to say something. I'm gonna go ahead and get off.
Well, he said not him, but he the one that was saying that the people that got the money was gonna be foolish with it. See, this is what we talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what we talking about right here, man.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Tariq was talking about. Is downplaying our people, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Pause 1 second.
I understood that, brother.
We need clarification first. Hold on. When he said, "Are you FBA?" He asking you, "Are you foundational Black American, meaning your descendants from those who were enslaved.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay. I was finna say then.
He was talking about the movement.
Oh, okay.
That's what I wanted to clarify.
No.
So I know.
All right. I was finna get on him, man.
No. We from the gully.
I was finna get him, man. I was finna get him.
We from Orangeburg. We from Orangeburg, South Carolina. We from Kingston, North Carolina.
All right.
We from Savannah, Georgia.
See, but peep this. See that fire he got right there? When you start to say about your lineage, you're going to rep that at the end of the day. And the homie that said earlier that it's like a football game, I like that analogy because it's simple. Because on a football game, you know, if your uniform got black on and the enemy got red on, you know who's who. You know who passed the rock to. You know who you going to play the game. You know where the plan going right there.
Crypto, you know what's the sad part about that? I understand the football analogy, but I got nephews and nieces that won't be on the team.
And that's cool. Everybody can't play. Everybody can't get in. You don't need everybody in there. And that's the whole unity front that everybody's been getting caught up in for years, man. We don't need everybody to be successful Black folks in this land. I mean, if you look at it, man, we the most successful people in the world. We set the culture. We set the trends. Ain't nobody else setting them like we do, man.
That's why you have tryouts for the team.
Let me Will,
we where it's at.
Hold up, Will, they wanted to say one more thing.
Right. Since this is a Moorish platform, right?
No, brother,
not my experience.
This is everybody's platform. I don't like, bro. I mean, everybody know me by now. I like everybody to have their voice. I'm a Moorish American that has a platform for us all, and I want everybody to voice their opinion as they see fit, no matter what you say you subscribe to. I mean, I'm just a Moorish American.
Well, I'm a Moorish American till I die, but FBA is pushing the envelope, and I'm rocking with my people 100%. And my experience in the North Science Temple of America, because I've been to like 3 different organizations, maybe four, right? But I've seen them bring in Mexicans, Europeans. This was never the prophet's agenda. These ones get with all type of mixed-spirited type of people. It's crazy. It's crazy energy in there. It's a joke. Hey man, this brother need honors Tariq Nasheed for what he's doing. Them people was coming in the temple, a Jamaican American. It was a Moorish American that was from Jamaica. Came over in his early 20s or whatnot. Yeah, we Yankees and all of that. When it come down to it, one's is trying to get citizenship.
But that's the
all
thing.
about what Moorish American about citizenship.
Hold up, bro.
Ones do that on a higher level and been doing it for years. Tariq Nasheed is pointing this stuff out. They'll come around you like, yeah.
Hold up, bro. The platform of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not exclusive for those who just born in America, and you know that. It's
I got one of these. I got one of these, and I can speak on it right now with that brother Prophet Noble.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Hold up. The platform of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not the FBA platform. You already know that. In the back of it, it talks about the Uniting of
As
Nations.
far as the lineage is concerned,
yes.
FBA and Moorish and all of this. As far as what's being told, that's what the prophet was in tune with. That's what we need to be in tune with.
No, what I'm telling you is that that's not the same platform, and you know that.
Yeah, I know it's not the same. That's obvious, bro. What's the point?
So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say to you as a Moorish American, to try to say that they had who you said in the temple, Jamaicans and all that, that's permissible in the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know that. So
yeah, you just told that brother that there's no you would be
American. He would be Moorish
Jamaican American. He was
Moorish Science Temple of America. The organization is called.
I'm not even gonna mention going to the Secretary of State, filing all of this nonsensical paper, probably putting yourself on some type of list and all of this type of stuff that's going on. Yeah, bro, no, it's confusion going on. That's what I was addressing. You made the statement that
I'm gonna finish the statement. Let me clarify the statement. Anyone that's of African descent, whether here or abroad, or of Asiatic descent, whether here or abroad, can become a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know that, and I know that. But now, would their nationality be Moorish American? Absolutely not. That's the difference. So a Jamaican would be Moorish Jamaican, not Moorish American. But the organization would be the Moorish Science Temple of America if he's in America. Or he will be under the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of the world. That's a whole nother lesson.
So if I'm understanding,
And okay, so we got this pamphlet that the prophet put down for us. Like it's a holy pamphlet, right? Like
Absolutely.
he goes into it, right? Addressing these other nations. He didn't call them Moorish nothing. All throughout this Western Hemisphere, he described these people. The only people that was described as Moorish was the people in the United States of America.
Nationality. You're mixing apples and oranges. A nationality, he said the Mexicans, the Nicaraguans, he says, and he names all South Americans. He said all of these are Muslims, and he named Moorish American. He's separating nations. However, if you are in America, you can join the organization.
If he's separating nations, he's delineating, he's distinguishing. He's saying who is who and what's what.
He's identifying different nations within the diaspora.
So Hawker, if I'm
He
understanding,
never addressed them as Moorish. I'm telling you that, hey, if y'all want to look up this pamphlet on page.
Hey, this is another conversation, bro. You need to have a debate with Grand Sheik on this, man.
Come on ahead and debate.
Right. The point is, the more everybody doing the same thing.
Hey, let's get to the debate. Since you know Prophet Noble Drew Ali so well, let's debate tomorrow night right here. Who's Moorish? Who's Moorish American? Who's not? What is the Asiatic? And what is Asiatic descent?
You don't get in trouble, bro.
And how FBA has no role in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's do it tomorrow night.
I'm not saying that it does.
Let's do it tomorrow night.
Uh-oh.
And I respect FBA, but it has nothing to do with Moorish science. It cannot fit in the Moorish science paradigm.
I only brought that up to say that we're distinguishing each other. There's a delineation, bro.
Let me tell you something. I respect our people from all corners of the planet. I respect all of our people from all corners of the planet and all their interpretations of how we have to move. But the interpretation that I follow, called the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm telling you, as a Moorish American, FBA does not fit in that. And I would not disrespect anybody who subscribes to FBA, but it does not fit.
Okay, it does not fit, and I don't care. That's not my point. But I will say this: I bring a sister into the Moorish Science Temple of America, and when sisters come in and they see Mexican women, damn near European women up hugging on the brother, that's distasteful. They discouraged from coming in. I've seen this.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that ain't.
A whole nother conversation, brother. That's not the political conversation that we're trying to have about FBA.
We want to include everybody into everything, and they just tear it all up.
That's a whole nother
love
conversation,
everybody, right?
brother.
But nobody giving that love. It's not reciprocated.
Brother,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Brother,
that's
a whole other conversation.
Talk about Moorish girl on another bride. No. We here with it, bro.
Listen, that's a whole other conversation of how people move in the comforts of their temple and the comforts of their leadership.
Hey, I've been around this
that's another conversation.
Yeah.
That's an entirely different conversation. My thing is, if FBA is a legitimate movement, all I'm asking is so the people can know what is.
It's not a legitimate.
I've been wanting to clear that up for a minute. I've been wanting to clear that up for a minute.
Ain't no sheiks, ain't no leader guys, ain't no none of that. Hey, it's get on code time.
All right, man. You need to get on tomorrow night with that.
Situation that we in.
You ready for that debate?
Social and economic situation.
I can tell you.
Grand Sheik gonna get you.
I would debate you tomorrow that FBA do not fit into the Prophets program.
I'm not debating. I don't care about that, bro. That's not my argument.
You can't be a proclaimed Moorish American then.
Huh?
You're just saying you are.
What you saying?
How can you proclaim to be a Moorish American if you subscribe to something that is opposite of what you say you believe in?
that is opposite of what I
Yes,
say I believe.
Moorish Americans say we don't identify as black people. That's what we say.
Okay.
I
We
understand
don't
that.
describe ourselves as that.
I understand that.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
And your point.
so when you say foundational black American and we're pushing nationality and divine creed, you're
Oh
out.
yeah. Now we getting to the bottom of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What has that been doing? Hey, bro, we not with the games no more. Stop with all of that. That ain't gonna work. Hey, stop. I'm a Moorish American because it's in my heart and mind. Ain't nobody gonna question me on that.
Listen, no.
It's probably no Ali. It ain't some sheep boy.
No.
It ain't no sheep guy. I know this. Come get it from me. It ain't none of that.
All right, homie. Hold on. Slow down, man. Slow down.
It's going to do what it has done. And FBA is going to do the same thing that Moors have done when they got off track, if they get off track. It's only going to do what the people do.
Homie,
That's
turn.
it. So if FBA do not come up with a concrete plan to unfold it to the next level, then we're going to see a repeat of all of our organizations within FBA. That's why I'm asking.
The Hawker, let me just say this, brother. Let me just say this. FBA is not an organization. FBA is not a political movement.
Right.
FBA doesn't have to have any type of plan. There are people who happen to be FBAs who are coming together and getting organized and creating political plans and so on and so forth. But FBA itself is a descriptive title.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's it. And what I hear you doing, when you talk about Moorish Americans versus the Moorish Science Temple, you're making a distinction between a nationality and the actual organization. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Am I correct? So I would agree with you with the distinction that you're making there, and also what you're saying that foundational Black American would contradict that, because like you said, as a Moor, you don't use the term black. But can I ask you a question about that though?
I don't want to demonize the term black. I don't want to demonize it. What I'm saying is within the Moorish construct, I
just have a question about it though.
Even associated with identity.
I just have a question about it just for my own,
Absolutely.
understanding. Doesn't Moor just mean black in another language?
Absolutely not. Moor comes from the term Mordi. Mordi comes from West Africa, from the Mordi tribe, Mauri, and it means Westerner. It's those who went west from the Levant. Those who went west, and the people describe themselves as they named themselves that. The European that came there, he seen the Mordi people, and the people referred to themselves as the Mordi people, and he said, "Oh, Moor means black because their skin was as black as the outline of Cryptonomics block right there." And so what the European did, he described the Mordi tribe as he was told they were named, and he described them as black as what he's seen.
And so how did those Moors from there arrive here in the U.S.?
Oh, by the way of the slave trade, as well as we traveled here. Absolutely. We came before Columbus. Absolutely.
Okay. No doubt.
Absolutely.
Okay, no doubt.
But we are the same people.
No doubt.
We understand.
Yeah.
You must understand that.
Yeah, I get that.
Nationality is a political term.
What's a political term?
Nationality. Moorish American is really a political term. Now, it's a lineage term also.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lineage term also, but primarily it's a political term.
For what purpose?
For the purpose of uniting a group of people to obtain political power and to get the resources that's naturally ours. Absolutely. And obtain that which was lost. You see what I'm saying? It's like somebody put up here, black or Moor. If Moor mean black, why would it be black or Moor? Ain't that oxymoron? Black or Moor? That means black or black. That doesn't make sense. Moor doesn't mean black, and it can be proven. It can be proven. I would debate anybody on it. But the point that I'm making is when people understand the true teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, not that stuff on the internet where a piece of paper solved the problem and anything like that. It is a political movement, but it is also a lineage movement. It encompasses it all. You know what I'm saying? And so because I'm the type of person where the way I see things, I'm looking for a path. You know what I'm saying? For the ultimate goal.
Rightfully
And so
so.
when you tell me that, well, it's really not the political movement. It's not a political movement. I can rock with that. But now, what is the next step after inspiring the people?
Well, that's what I was going to get to next too. You know,
Bro,
those
let me
of
tell you,
us.
bro, I really admire your boy. You remind me of the minister up there, Minister Paul. Y'all be so calm. My brother Will just went nuts on me for me. But that's
Nah,
my brother. I love my brother.
because I understand where you're coming from, brother.
No,
I don't feel no
how
malice.
y'all move though, and I want to get like that one day too. I do. I want to be so calm and just answer some questions.
That ain't gonna happen, man.
Nah, do it how you do
We're
it.
not there yet.
Your energy is beautiful and it's working for you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm just a laid back brother, and I deal with understanding. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm feeling your spirit where you coming from. I don't think it's coming from an ill will place. You know what I'm saying? You asking critical questions that need answers.
This question,
I
though. Hold
respect
that
it.
thought.
So that-
Somebody asked, what have the Moors accomplished politically? Nothing. That's why I'm here today.
See that? No emotion.
Nothing.
See that?
That's why I'm here. Because I believe in the program of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I have faith and confidence in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I'm going to work the program of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But up to me, what has the Moors done since the Prophet? Nothing.
I think
That don't mean I'm
part of the whole FBA thing is, like we said, it's not political. It hasn't reached that type of level yet, but the whole principle behind the FBA is almost like a small nugget to get to the next step. Because if we think about it, about these movements like civil rights movement, what was the uniform? What was everybody unified under that? What unified them? It was one thing. And it was civil rights, but for who? Black people. You can't change your skin
It
color.
was for everybody, though. It was for everybody.
No, it ended up being that, but that wasn't what it was at the beginning, because it was mostly black people that had to go to the back of the restaurant. I know all about that because the family talked about it all the time. They had to go to the back of the restaurant, had to eat your food in the back. You could sit in the back of the bus. It was black people, bro. You can't change your skin, and that's what the movement was under, that uniform that you can't change, and that's what FBA sounds like to me. Is it's trying to get back to this. What's your uniform? What's your ID? And if you can't really identify yourself under that ID, then you really ain't going to move with this movement.
Yeah,
It's not for you.
And the problem has been politically, like I said earlier, we have been getting lumped in with all of these other groups. You know what I'm saying? They have been using these, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, these broad and ambiguous terms to make us something that's not special, something that doesn't need any type of special attention. Even though we were specifically aggrieved, we don't get any specific compensation for the aggrievement because everybody's been aggrieved. So you ain't no different than the Puerto Ricans, or you ain't no different than any other immigrant that came here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the purpose of the delineation and the distinction, is to get that part straight. You know what I'm saying?
But I think in the process of getting that part straight, we also need some concrete boots on the ground, building something. I like what the brother Go Back to Africa said. He said, unify and get out of America. You know what I'm saying? Until we have
out of America.
No. Get what I look at that as, we have yet to establish any sort of refuge for ourselves. We're still cheerleading with chants and hashtags. We haven't established much for ourselves. We're taking a bunch of money and a bunch of resources to promote hashtags and cheerleading.
Well, I would disagree with you a little bit on that, because since the FBA movement has started moving, we have seen the needle start moving in the political arena as well. You say people have been screaming about reparations for the last 20 some odd years. But it wasn't until the last really 5 or 6 years where you see the politicians in Congress and all of that having to address the issue of reparations, getting task force together, different task force being put together around the country to address the issue of reparations. No, they're trying to undermine it. They're trying to figure out ways to thwart it.
That's a great thing to pacify it as long as they can.
But before, they were just ignoring it totally. It was laughable.
But the thing is that
HR 40 was sitting there for 30-some years. It was a laughable conversation if you brought up reparations. It was like, oh, get out of here. Ain't nobody talking about that.
Only thing I'm saying
now they have to take it seriously.
Can I ask a question after?
Yes, come on, sis.
I I would like to ask the gentleman on the panel, um, in a
Who?
situation where, well, to any of you, to be
Oh,
honest,
okay.
because
Oh, okay.
it's very rare that you get an opportunity as a black woman on these YouTube streets. It is very rare to run into a group of black men who are trying to have an intelligent conversation. And so I'm pleased with that if it isn't talking about, you know, something that doesn't really matter. But to the point of the different types of communities that we have within the black community, so to speak. My question is, when I present that there is a pathway, when I say if you have, like for instance, the gentleman said, you know, that the land was no good. Okay, you can go to New Mexico, you can buy land anywhere in the country, right? A minimum of 30,000 people is what you need to gain more House representatives. Our economics are like this. We only keep our money in our community for maybe 6 seconds. That's it. It usually goes right back into someone else's community. And that is where my drive comes from. No matter what anybody has told me, I know that this is the best way that we can take our consumer power and turn it into political power. So when you look at when you speak to the Moors and the ADOS and FBA, I just wonder, what is that goal? Is that not something that you see as a way to us together, in a sense of why couldn't we have? It's just like having a church here, a mosque there, and I couldn't think of the word, and a temple across the street. Why can't we do that? Why is that an issue? And when
I think this
being
is
that
the
I
I
am a
don't think
black
that's an
woman
issue.
in a space,
this,
well,
I think
the
this
only
is the
reason I
real
say
issue
that it
here.
is an issue, yeah.
I
Go
think the
ahead. I'm
real
sorry.
issue is, I think the real issue is that if you have the know-how how to bring it to fruition, then you're going to have to grassroots and organize people and get the numbers behind you. The powers is in the people. Internet is not going to do it.
You don't
Even
think
when
so?
you look at
Well,
Tariq Nasheed with the FBA demonstration, he could go on the internet and get tons and tons of support. They could talk about it in Congress, but until someone is on the ground, organized in a concentrated effort in communities, it's going to be nothing. It's
Well,
going to
of
be
course,
nothing.
it
well,
can't
can I?
stop on
And
the
then,
internet. The internet can't be
Hold
the
on.
end all be
So,
all,
and
so
then
only thing
but
I'm
the
saying
internet is
is,
important.
Yeah.
only thing I'm saying, sis, is that unless you are organizing people to
I am.
represent how
I
you
am.
trying to move, it's not going anywhere.
Yes, sir. Well, I
That's
have
the
across the
bottom line of
country.
it. And that's with any movement.
I
Now,
have, but that's what I'm saying. The movement I'm speaking of is the
That's right.
movement of
Say,
economic
Harker knows everything. I'm gonna do a
establishment.
podcast. Harker
You
knows
can,
everything.
I can build a home for $3,000, a two bathroom, up to 3 to 4 bedroom home, and not have to charge that. These are things that have been here. So that means if I can build a house, I can build a clinic. It is a
But sis, all of that is good in theory.
it
But if
just
you
is a
ain't got
little
people to go to the
frustrating.
house,
No,
you
but
need community.
I don't. I guess what. But if you
You
don't,
need
like for me, I've
community.
been on
This is what
here
I'm saying.
6 months.
Our
This
people,
is,
Yeah,
our people put
but it,
the cart before the horse. We
right.
need
well,
community.
no,
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with that.
We
I
just
agree
yeah,
with
well,
need.
yeah.
that.
sir,
We
I
got it.
do
I
We
agree
Talk
got
with
to
about
that.
get.
all the skills in the world. We can talk
Yeah,
about all the building, how much it costs, how much land we got. Without people,
Right.
we have
right.
nothing.
Yeah, you
Right.
got it. You
That's
got it.
right.
And
So
now to
listen,
so
that point, though,
my
Grand Sheik. To that point, though, Grand Sheik. Wasn't Tariq trying to put together boots on the ground in your city, in Baltimore, I believe, but he said he
You
couldn't
do a
get
march.
the.
You
That's
want to do a
DC.
march in DC.
Yeah, he said he couldn't get the permits or something like
well,
that.
They want to do a
I
march. Like, come
apologize.
on, I
I
ain't
do.
marching. Marching nowhere. I'm good.
Excuse me. I want to
But go
add
ahead,
to the
let's go ahead.
point,
Finish your
gentlemen.
thoughts, sis.
I know you guys. I yes, I know you guys get it. That's not why I'm saying this. I have been on the ground. I am doing the work, but I find it hard to find black men to get with me to do these things. Everyone that has supported me so far, helped me raise money for certain things, have been Black women. I've even had Black women say to me, well, maybe we should just build our own community. I have come across a lot of Black men in this space, face to face and out of it, who look at me and go, well, this is a pipe dream. It's not. It's not. It's right there. Like
Well,
I
hold
am
up.
right there.
All due respect, though. All due respect, sis. Men are not gonna follow real men. Don't follow women.
Oh my goodness.
They don't do that, man. No, it ain't trying to be sexist, but that's just how it is. They don't follow women. They might have they might have the idea and everything, but men just don't do
But
that. I don't do
But I
that.
say this: if they don't want to follow,
Let me say this. Let me say this to her point. To your point, Chocolate Earth, I've had more non-FBA business in my property management, home improvement business than I've had of my own people.
What do you mean?
Hold up. What I mean is, I had many of my customers as I was building my business. They were Arab, Pakistanians, Africans, and I've never had a problem with them. So that's not my experience. And some of the things that I'm building in the Moorish Science Temple of America, I had non-FBA people, friends who actually supported way more than people who even call themselves Moorish Americans. So I haven't had that experience. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not fighting the cause. That doesn't mean that I'm not fighting the cause for the immediate problem that we face as a group of people, because I am. However, for 2 years, I was talking about a Moorish village. Build a Moorish village so we can be together, so we can live together, so we can have business in the same community together. You know what? Will Ill, he supported every month, every other week, something like that. But I didn't even know him like that. You know what I'm saying? But majority of
but that's what
it's always like that.
They wasn't coming out no pocket for nothing.
The people that you know are gonna be the last ones.
Three different buildings, trying to build it up, penny pinching and scratching and itching. So the point that I'm making is this: that my position stands by my experience. You understand what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that I don't fight my cause for the immediate problem.
But I'm not questioning.
Facing the most dangerous situation on the planet. Our people are.
Yes, and I am not saying that or questioning anyone's motives. What I'm asking is, as far as following me, and I'd like to add to the gentleman Martell McCoy, when I say it is because it is me. I was the one that started this. My mother passed away. It was her and I. I owned 10 acres, and we had to, I had some things we had to deal with after the sudden death of my mom. However, it didn't stop me from doing what I feel needs to be done. There needs to be protection for our Black boys and girls and even our Black men. And so whether you're a real man or however you guys describe it, that's fine. If you don't want to follow me, you can give me $5 and I'll promise you I'll show you what I can do with that. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I've already talked to the county. I'm talking to them, the planning and zoning, so that I know how many places we need to build. Now, I do have people back home. Right now, I'm in North Carolina, and I'm heading back west. It is imperative, if we're talking about all of the things that we want to see connected, and to your point, community does start there. However, if I sit here and go, well, okay, well, if a man won't follow me, then I'm not going to do nothing. That doesn't make sense when I'm raising a young Black man myself, my brother, and I don't want him out here having to deal with the things Black men having to go through. I have been teaching him how to.
Sis, I don't think that's a wide brush statement that you should take too serious, because I think people will ultimately follow the best qualified at the end of the day. If you're producing, people will follow.
Right.
That's just what it is. I mean, I know
Right.
what Trip said. I know what other people use.
It's not. It's the word following that gets people
but
hang
it's
up. We're really
always
talking
gonna
about
be
linking
the
up.
most qualified and one who's producing. Because I'm guarantee you, if you can produce something that Cryptonomics see that we need as a people, and it's critical for our survival and our liberation, I'm quite sure that Cryptonomics will be right there supporting, because you have been shown to be the best qualified.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Yes, you are.
Well,
I'm just bugging, man. I'm just bugging, but
But I know what you
I
mean, though.
appreciate it. I
get the point
appreciate
too.
it.
But I think
It's
the
okay.
best
I'm gonna drop
qualified is always
down.
gonna
Thank you
win
for
the job.
giving. That's exactly
It
right.
says,
So
Hey,
hopefully
bro.
when
you
you
need to hit
guys
me up.
see
See,
it, break ground. I did,
you need
sir.
to hit me.
You were
I
supposed to
know.
hit me back. I sent you a whole presentation.
What I'm saying is, I got busy.
Uh-huh.
That's why I'm just telling you now. You need to hit me back.
I understand. I'll hit you back. I'll hit you back. But again, I appreciate it,
Anybody
gentlemen.
that I don't hit back, don't hold it to my heart.
Word.
I'm just super busy.
Hey, TB,
Hey,
I
bro,
got a question for you.
let me say this. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I heard you make the statement like, you know, if you claim to be a Moorish American, how can you be for this? Right? It's like,
No, not before it. I didn't say that.
I'm not getting on that. I'm sticking with the whole lineage thing, because you said that's a part of what the prophet was doing as well. Right. So, and that's what it's about. As far as black and Moorish and all of this back and forth, it's like, no, as Moorish Americans, we supposed to we supposed to overstand that, right? As the language go or whatever. So we supposed to overstand the situation. Look, this brother has galvanized the ears of the masses. He done made this international talk addressing our issues. This ain't no ragtag situation that's going on here. These issues are critical.
Let me be the angel.
He has resources. It's not like he's just going off his own volition.
No.
Resources, references of what's what and where it came from and where we should.
Let me be the angel's advocate. Show and prove.
Show and prove
these
what?
Conversations are doing. It's just conversation, brother. It's conversations all over the internet. We're in the social media era. Some conversations are greater than others. So because it's a conversation that interests you, it seems to be bigger than what it actually is. If it didn't interest me, if I'm studying Jay-Z and he's a billionaire, I'll make that conversation the biggest thing on the planet because I subscribe to and inspired by Jay-Z. The point that I'm making is that these conversations ultimately have to produce. And I'm asking, where is the path to produce? It's besides the conversation and that's all I'm asking.
It's producing a response, and everybody's showing where they at on this.
That's the state of the internet today.
It's building right now. It's formulating. It's shaping.
AI's produced the response.
Not
produced a response.
Okay,
It may not be the response that you was looking for, but they produced a heck of a response. Who else? The churches back in the day produced a heck of a response. So what you're saying is nothing new. What I'm saying is the new thing have to be is producing something tangible that is leading us toward liberation, and that I don't see in none of these movements.
That's what we're supposed to be aiming towards, tangibles. We aiming towards getting tangible. We discussed this. We talk about the importance of having tangibles. So that's our thing. We got congressmen talking down. We got political, powerful people speaking on this.
Where? Who?
I can't think of the Howard
Dean.
Howard Dean is
Howard Dean.
Yeah, he's a strong political figure in the Democratic.
The head of the DNC.
Yeah. That's one example, and there's many others. But this is a real issue, and
it has been going on all across the political spectrum. Like I said, through Congress, through the Senate, people having to address the issue. But there's no one path.
Hold on. You said Howard Dean?
That's what he said.
The European Howard Dean?
He's a politician. What is that?
The European Howard Dean?
That's what he's talking about.
We're talking about lineage and The European Howard Dean?
What are you doing right now? He's a politician. We're talking about getting tangibles. Where do you address these issues to? What
No,
you
that's
doing,
fine.
bro?
That's fine. I understand that. I get what
Yeah,
you're
Howard
saying.
Dean.
I have no problem with that. The point that I'm making is,
And by the way,
because
he's
the
not. And by the way,
European
he's
is
pushing
speaking
back
on-
on what
hold
we're
up.
saying.
Just because the European is speaking on it, now it's valid.
No, hold on.
What are
Because
we
first of
saying?
all,
Because
first of all,
Howard Dean
Howard Dean is not speaking in favor of it. Okay,
Right.
Howard Dean is
Howard
pushing
Dean
back
is
against
against
it.
Howard Dean is
Ask
against
him.
reparations.
He's
Howard
pushing back
Dean is
against it.
against reparations.
Yeah, he's pushing back against the whole thing.
Right. He doesn't
What was
believe in
the-
reparations.
But the point is, what he's trying to say, if I could speak for you, brother, is that the conversation has reverberated to that level. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
Where
I can name tons of Europeans that spoke against reparation before FBA came into existence. Come on, man. That's a
The
strong
point is
Yeah.
it's showing. Look, we've just
you
signed.
haven't heard them talk about reparations in a political debate, on a presidential political debate.
Bro, Ados had them on tag.
Ados had
Listen,
help from the
Ados-
political
Listen,
agenda. They had help from the
Listen.
Howard Dean.
Bro, it's conversation.
And that's the
bro.
thing about it, bro.
Ados had
all
momentum because of FBA. Let's be real.
Look, I like what Flyboy say. ADOS, FBA is just a history lesson, nothing else. Is that correct for right now?
No,
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to say no.
Clint,
Perhaps I don't understand what that means.
Maybe he
I
said,
don't know.
no, and that's what I'm saying. This is why we'll never get far, because we just witnessed my brother Will L say maybe, and then my brother
This is going down in history, so yeah.
Nobody's on the same page. See, when this European attack,
But we had different interpretations of the statement, brother.
and that's why we can't go
And I
nowhere.
still, and I
Different
still stand
interpretations
by
of the
what I
statement.
said.
It's not confusion on FBA. It's confusion on the
No.
statement.
Yes,
The statement
and I
that was
still
put on the
stand by what
screen.
I stand by what I said, and I agree with him as well, and I can explain it.
It was just different interpretations of the statement that was put on the screen. That's all that
Now,
was.
let me give a shout out.
ATV.
Let me give a shout out to Tariq Nasheed for his efforts, family. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm disrespecting brother Tariq Nasheed. I don't know much about it, but I just know it doesn't fit into what I see how liberation come about. I just know it doesn't at this time. Maybe later it will, but at this time it does not fit into the pathway towards liberation. It just doesn't at this time.
So how do you feel
it's a
about him
self-esteem
addressing?
builder.
So let me ask you a
How do
question.
you feel
Let me
about
ask you
him
a question.
addressing? How do
Do you
you
think-
how do you feel about him addressing our social and economic circumstances?
Give me an example how he addressing it.
Pretty much how Dr. Claude Anderson addresses it. That we're at the bottom of the pyramid. We got people undermining us. We got people getting
Brother,
paid.
that's social
All
media
of this stuff
content.
is based off of civil rights acts, things that we don't typically
It's
talk
social
about.
media content. When one want to address our
Facts are
economic-
facts, bro.
Let me finish.
Facts
Let
are
me finish.
facts.
Let me finish it. When someone wants to really address our economic situation as a people, they will centralize and they will organize and they will put it on the ground so people can begin to capitalize, if you will. It's not a social media conversation that addresses our economic situation. The real addressing of an economic situation is putting something in motion for things to happen in real time.
We can't put it in motion. We can't put anything in motion.
You're not tired of all the talking?
The ball, you don't think social media is a good place to get the ball
I
rolling?
think social media is a bridge to get us on the ground
Right.
to do what need to be done.
Right,
But
of
if
course.
but listen, if the conversation continues to stay on social media and people begin to still stand behind the conversation and not asking for the production to take place, then that's a problem in our community.
Of course.
Hey, TB, I got a question for you. What would be your ideal form of reparations?
The ideal form of reparation is
For you personally.
No. The ideal form of reparation is we organize as let's say, let me put it on a small scale. We organize as some sort of council to represent the whole of the people. That's number one.
With the leader or a group?
It can be a council, it can be one leader to be the spokesperson for the council, but it definitely have
So
to
like
be
a freedmen's bureau, something like a freedmen's
Okay.
bureau.
it would have to be something like that. Now,
Okay, go ahead.
the reason why it has to be like that is because we need think tanks, and we need to
Right.
put people in position to try to do the things that have been done by other group of peoples that have already obtained that. It need to be beyond talk. It need to be
Okay.
put out there and applied. Now,
One thing that
once we get all the way to the point of whether it's the World Court, whether it's United Nations, however that will be dispensed, whether it's Congress, whatever political body that is going to dispense these reparations, then that body, that group will be able to dispense these resources. That's how reparations and compensation has always happened. There was an organization or a nation that appealed for the group. They received it and they dispensed it. Other than that, we're just yelling.
Would that be in the form of financial or tax?
That's what he's asking.
No. It's going to be in form of finance. It's going to be in form of land. It's going
It's
to
a
be in
Marshall
form
Plan.
of commodities. It's going to be in form of resources. It's going to be in form of many things. But the
Right.
point that I'm making is that it doesn't happen with just the conversation. It has to have a system that it's accountable to.
Boots on the ground.
It has to have a system that it is accountable to. That's the bottom line.
Those
If
things
there
are
is
those
no
things are
system
happening,
in
brother.
place, there will be no reparation. And all of this talk becomes smoke and mirrors. So the first step towards reparation is organization. With no organization, there will never be no reparation.
What you are saying is right and exact, and those
And
things
that's what
are
this
happening.
conversation
Those
has been
things are
about.
definitely happening.
Everyone is on so the next step would be for our brother Tariq Nasheed to organize.
Tariq doesn't have to do anything. It's not on one person.
No, I'm saying for those who represent FBA. I'm just using him because he brought the FBA thing. For one to organize some sort of council, some sort of board, some sort of rank and file where the brain think tank can come and get the marching orders and proceed forward. Other than that, there will
those
never
things.
be no
Those
reparation.
things have to happen, and I believe that we're in the infant stages of seeing some of those things come to fruition on the ground. But what I'm saying is, Tariq is not the end all be all of everything. It's not his job to do everything. He's in his role. He's doing what he's doing. He's getting people on code. He's giving people the right language to use and all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's not his job to organize everybody and all that. Other people have to pick up the mantle and begin to do the work.
It is his job. It's his job if he came up with the concept. And
he came up with a term.
If he came up with the term.
All right, he got the
And
flag
the
too.
term, there should be a concept with the term. Then he should be the one to delegate those to move forward because the term and the concept was birthed from him. So he don't get to he don't get to make up a term and a concept and ambiguously people just grab for straws. That's nothing but confusion.
So the FBI can end up locking his
I
ass
disagree with
up.
you on that. I disagree with you on that.
Yeah. If he created the term and the concept, then he knows what the birth of it was all about. So he definitely would have to explain it to somebody so they can carry it out. Other than that, you know what's going to happen? The same thing that's been happening. You're going to interpret it to be this way. Somebody else going to be a leader of it. They're going to interpret it to be this way, and we're going to be.
There is no leader. It's not an organization.
That's what, but no, I'm saying when it has to unfold. If you want reparations.
When it grows, he's saying that gotta
what
happen.
I'm saying is that's not on Tariq. People who recognize their identity.
Reparation, it is.
Say what?
It's just talk. It's just empty talk, brother. When you say reparations, right?
When we say reparations, this is in response to basically the Democrats.
So we just having a talk show.
No, when we say reparations, we're basically responding to the Democrats trying to get black people to keep on this treadmill to nowhere, voting for nothing. That's a response to that. It's saying, okay, if you want us to vote for y'all, if y'all want us to continue to carry the Democratic Party, this is what we need. That's what the reparations.
So then, what's the other choice? What's the other choice of voting? If the black people don't vote for the Democrats, you saying vote for the Republicans?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then who do you vote for?
You don't have to vote. Not voting is a strategy. Also,
a no vote is a vote.
No, you know,
You're right. You're right.
A no
But it's
vote, a no vote is a vote.
You're
See,
right.
see,
You're right.
see, this
You're
is
right.
what-
But it's not a vote for the Republicans.
But
It's
let
a
me tell you
vote for the black
something.
agenda.
You know the greatest strategy is? The greatest strategy is block voting all day, every day. Block voting is a strategy.
And block not voting.
Voting is not a strategy.
And block not
has
voting.
never been a strategy.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. And that's the thing. That's the thing that hasn't been done. That's the thing that hasn't been done.
Listen to me.
Not voting with intention.
Listen to me. When you don't vote, you allow those who do vote to control all the resources.
Exactly.
When you hold up, we need to be educated on what voting is. We need to stop electing people and start selecting people. So if we are in a community, with 4,000 people of a district, we need to organize the 4,000 people in the district to select sincere love to God. Now those 4,000 people put sincere love to God in position to bring back the resources. That's called selecting, not electing. Electing means that they give you somebody and you forced to vote for somebody. We need to stop voting like that. And in cities around the world, all we got to do is select and participate. And we take over cities overnight. If voting wasn't so important, why would they kill you at the polls? Because
nobody's not saying voting is not important. Nobody's not saying voting is not important. Nobody's not saying voting is not important. I'm saying there is many strategies. There's many strategies.
And you got to be equally as important if you don't vote.
It is.
The reason why not voting is not a strategy, because all of the resources, it goes to the person who is the representative of the voter.
Where it's been going
to. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just respond to that, what you just said. Let me just respond to what you just said. So black people have been voting for the Democrats in the 90-something percentile. Hold on, I'm not saying, I know you didn't say that. I know you didn't say that, but I'm just saying black people have been doing that.
I'm not talking about that.
Hold on a second. For over 50 years, black people have been participating.
It's a different conversation, brother.
It's not. I'm responding directly to what you. If you let me finish my point.
I'm not talking about voting for a political
party. If you let me get where I'm going, I know what your overall thing is saying. But you saying if you don't vote, then the resources go to the people who are representing their constituents that voted for them. Absolutely. Right. And what I'm saying is, okay, so black people have been voting for the Democrats. I know you're not saying we should do that. Black people have been voting for the Democrats. So we have been their constituents. We have been their only reliable bloc. And that has gotten us absolutely nothing. They have did not
that
one.
Is not the conversation.
They have not done one thing for black people.
Brother, with all due respect, you're going backwards. I'm not talking about voting for Democrats.
I know you're not. I'm just giving you an example.
Used to do. I'm talking about what we need to do.
I'm just giving you an example of how that hasn't worked.
Hear me. What you're talking about is something that we used to do.
We still do it today.
No. Listen, I'm telling you something that we need to do. So let's stop talking about what we used to do and what they're doing today, and let's organize and do what we need to do today. And what we need to do is select people, put them in position, and we held them accountable because they come from our hood. They come
with that.
Our area.
But that's not.
Hold up. We need to keep talking about what our forefathers and our past people have done that has set us back. And we need to do it different to push us forward.
I agree with that. But
now
in the upcoming election, hold on a second. What you're saying is right.
Republicans, no, we need to get districts in shape, get boots on the ground, select who we want, and put them in position to bring the bag back.
But the problem with that is that starts locally. Let me
get sincere first, because I've been cutting them off all night.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, I agree with you. We need to do exactly what you're talking about doing. But realistically, in this upcoming election cycle, that's not going to be done.
Oh, it's a wrap there.
Oh, right. So what do we do in the upcoming election cycle?
It has to start locally. We can't get to.
No, answer that question right there. The upcoming election cycle. What should we do with our vote?
What should we do?
Here we go. You look at the issue.
Right.
You're looking at. Hold up. Listen to me. Let me finish. You look at the issue, and you see who's running for the issues that you agree with. And if they don't running on the issues that you agree with, you let them know that you got 4,000 constituents that can shift the vote, and this is what we're looking for. They don't have to deliver, but next go around, we still got our 4,000. We got cell phones, we got text messages, we got everything. So you use the 4,000 as bargaining. So that's what you use.
That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
So
it's not about the vote. It's about voting in your interest. Anybody can pull a lever.
Right.
You have to vote your interest.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But you're just voting against the Republicans, according to what you're saying.
No. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I vote by interest.
In any district, you can shift the vote with 2,500 votes anywhere in America.
All right. So listen.
Anywhere.
So listen,
Anyway.
we got our block.
Here we go again.
So listen, we got our block, we got our issues, right? We're bringing our issues to the table, saying this is what we need, this is how many people we got down with us, and the politics. I'm just talking about this upcoming cycle. They saying, man, we ain't doing that.
That don't matter.
So should we still vote for them? Should we still vote for them?
No. Midterm, they out of there.
Should we vote for them?
We put our own people on the panel.
So under those circumstances, we should hold the vote, correct?
No. Guess what? No. You ain't got to hold the vote. Heck no. Because
what should we do with our vote? What should we do with the vote?
Because the person
vote for who?
Let me finish. Because
the lesser of two evils.
Let me
No,
finish.
sir.
Hell no. You crazy.
No, sir.
Listen, because the person did not yield.
That's still evil.
It's still evil.
Hold on. Go ahead, Grancy.
Because the person did not yield, and the other side did not yield, then you grab the lesser candidate and just shift the vote, and you take those votes, and that one that y'all 4,000 vote for is not going to win. They are going to be at odds with each other. You shift the vote. I'll give you an example. Kanye West, let me tell you something. You got to understand political strategy. It's a political strategy. It's not about winning.
I'm talking about a political strategy also.
It's not about winning all the time. It's about shifting.
I understand that.
It's about shifting, and it's about showing how much leverage you got.
Right.
And when you are organized, people know, oh, those are the ones that shift the vote last time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not organized, and then you're not identified, then you're just ambiguously talking political stuff with no political power. Let me give you an example. Kanye West, he was running for president. Grandmaster Jay, he ran for president. Now, people weren't taking them serious. But the hope was, remember he met with Trump. The hope was to shift some of the voters, whether it happened or whether it didn't. It wasn't about him winning the president. It was about shifting voters. So we need to understand political strategy. That's all it is.
Right. I understand that. But what I'm saying is withholding the vote is also a political maneuver. Especially when you've been historically voting as a block for one group, and then you decide to withhold the vote, they will feel that, and they will know exactly who it was that didn't support them. They will know exactly where that came from. It's not no ambiguous thing. That's not no ambiguous thing.
And
they know the numbers.
They will also be extremely concerned.
They know the numbers.
No, listen to me.
And also, when you don't participate in the process, that also sends a message to the establishment that there's a problem. There's a problem, and it's not working.
It is a strategy, but it's a strategy that would create imbalance, definitely.
Bro,
which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That's been participating for years. You think they care?
Say it again.
Right.
They have intentionally blocked us from participating in the voting process and the election process. And now you think because you don't participate, they care? They happy when you don't.
Listen, that's not true. We have been voting for the Democrats in the 90-something percentile. We are their block. They have no other block.
Talking about in the 60s, when they were trying to prevent us from voting, that got the Voters Act thing in. Listen to me. It's a proven fact that they don't want us participate in the political process. It's a proven fact.
Once upon a time, we talking about now.
The point I'm making is,
you told me I was going back.
Have you ever voted before?
Yes.
When you look at the ballot, there's always somebody on there that you never even heard of that doesn't stand a chance.
Right.
You take your organization and you put it behind this person that doesn't stand a chance, and you shift the vote. He's not going to win.
I
But
understand that.
your message will be sent to the less of the unknown person. And that's how you send your message. It's called political strategy. It's happening all around this country. The Irish did it. The Jews do it. Everybody.
The Arab Spring.
The Arabs do it.
You
Even
can't compare us to
right
nobody.
now, they do the same thing. But
You
man,
can't compare us to nobody. We different.
but no, most people know what I'm saying is most of us, we don't even understand political
I understand it. I understand it. But what I just believe what you're saying. I just believe the end to what you're saying is the same end to what I'm saying. It will be
Yeah.
achieving the same goal.
It's a
If you go-
new
if you go out-
day.
if you
It's
just go
new
to the
minds
voting
out here, man.
If you just go to the voting booth and put reparations and don't vote for nobody, just put reparations on the thing, or just vote for
Man,
that
you ain't
candidate.
put no reparation on no.
Vote for that candidate that
you
you're talking about. Vote for that candidate that you're talking about that don't stand a chance. It's the same thing as not voting.
Bro, it's a digital screen. You ain't
I
right.
understand.
Hey, but
I've been
peep
there.
game, man. You see it happening right now, man. Look
You
out
can put
here
your
at
own
these
name on the
businesses.
ballot.
Look at these businesses, man. People ain't even out here working. You know what I'm saying? Let alone voting. They ain't even out here getting a paycheck right now, man. So
Black people vote.
they disconnecting. People
Black people
disconnecting
vote.
from the system is my point.
Hey, can I say this? Them immigrants, they wasn't voting. They didn't have a voting block, but they was allotted millions of dollars.
They still get resources.
And
Give an example. That's a myth too. Give an
That's not a
example.
myth. That's not a myth. What do you think the DACA
bro,
program
you
is
can
for?
Google this stuff. It's
What do you
not
think the
hard to
DACA
find
program
out.
is for? The DACA program is for people that are not citizens that can't vote.
Come on, give the example. What it's called?
I just told DACA, the
I
Dreamer
just-
Act, the Dreamer Act, DACA, the Dreamer Act. That's
And
for
what is-
non-citizens. Hold on, I'll give you another example.
Yeah, Obama.
I'll give you
put
another
that.
example. They just did the Asian hate crime bill. The Asians are the least numbers when it comes to voting.
Why do you think they gave it to them, or it's a political move? That's a political move. That nobody
Yes.
gave them that for people. They appealed for these things. That's
They
the
didn't
difference.
get it from
This is what
voting.
I'm saying. Let me finish. Y'all be saying people gave them something. These people made political moves to obtain these things. We ain't making political moves. We just crying.
What
Ain't
did they
nobody-
do? So what was the political move that they
They
made?
didn't make no political
Let me-
move.
let
What
me
was
show
the
you.
political
Let me
move
show
that
you.
they made?
Let me show you. I'm gonna Google it and show it for you now. Asian, what it's called?
The Asian hate crime bill.
Asian hate crime bill. Somebody introduced the bill, right?
They got somebody. They got sneak.
Somebody introduced the bill, right?
Somebody said coronavirus came from China and they gave him a bill. That was it.
Hold up.
No, that's not how that happened.
That's it. That's all that happened.
I'm
They said
impressed.
it was
It
for
was a-
coronavirus.
it was a-
That's what they said. It was for coronavirus. They said they were aggrieved and they were harmed, racially targeted because of coronavirus.
Yeah, but you just can't can't steamroll no bill. It has to be presented
They
to the House.
did it. They did it.
But that's what Tahaka just said. It wasn't. They had to be presented.
It's
Listen,
presented.
how
It's
long
political,
ago was the
I'm about to
the
show you
pandemic?
who introduced the bill?
Go ahead.
Nobody just gave them no bill. They
Go ahead.
introduced. It was introduced.
Okay, go ahead.
Right? Hold up. His name is Paul. Let me get it real quick. I think his name is Paul Mack of the Asian American. Hold up, let me find it real quick. Paul.
What did Paul Mack do that we ain't doing?
He introduced the bill. What you mean? What you doing? His name is Paul Mack. He's one of them, but it was a whole group of them. One of them named Paul Mack, M-A-C. It's a whole bunch of them. Quite a few of them. What I'm saying is,
So Harper,
But Kamala-
they didn't do nothing special to get that bill passed for them.
brother, listen to me.
Kamala is half Asian,
It's
man.
a political move.
Okay.
We're screaming. You haven't introduced no bills, and you saying people are giving them
So
something.
you saying
They're
black people
giving
haven't
it-
introduced bills
Okay,
in
let me
all
give
this
you an example.
time?
Let me give you an example. The LGBT community. They
Another
are
one.
able to, in New York, they are able to change their birth certificate and have no sexual identity, right?
Right. No gender.
No gender. You know how that's done? They didn't give that to them. They presented this, and it was and the government says, okay, we'll sign off on this. The point is, we're only yelling over the internet, talking over the internet, and we're not presenting nothing. But then we say they gave them this, they gave them that, but you ain't
Who presented it for them?
Look, I
Who
like to
presented it
start
for
saying,
them?
look, the
Right.
LGBTQ has lobbying groups. We don't. That's the point.
Because
We're
they have
all
resources and we don't.
No, you do have resources.
No, we've been fooled with this whole
They have resources and we don't.
Bro, listen to what I'm saying. We need to begin to become more politically aware of how things work. Nobody gave anybody anything without
Right.
requests.
You can take a request to your alderman to get a bill passed over to DC. You could go right downtown or wherever your alderman is.
Even the immigrants, somebody has to request.
Yes, exactly. You could go there. You could write something on a piece of loose leaf paper and go to your alderman and say, look, man, our water dirty over here on this side of town. Take this up to DC. I got 2,000 people. We tired of this. We not paying our water bill.
So ain't nobody in Flint requested to get their water fixed. Ain't nobody in Flint requested.
Not until the
the
ambulance chasers went there and made a big stink out of it. No, they was just dealing with it.
That's not
Look
true,
it up.
family.
Man,
not true.
that's crazy. Hey,
That's
we
not
got the
true.
Congressional Black Caucus,
people-
right?
Right.
We got the Congressional Black Caucus. They supposed to represent black people right here in America.
Right.
But,
HR 40 been
man,
sitting.
we
HR
got-
40 been sitting in Congress since 1988.
Come on, man. This is a
If
joke.
y'all
And
say
that's a nothing burger, really.
Hold on, hold
HR
on, hold
40
on.
is nothing, but it been sitting there
See-
since 1988. They ain't do nothing with that.
this is part of the problem. We're sitting
Tahaka,
waiting for
deal with
these
what I just said,
alphabet.
Tahaka.
We're sitting waiting for these alphabet people to do something for us instead of us getting up and doing it ourselves.
No,
This
let's
is part of
talk
the
about
problem.
Deal with that. Deal with that one, Tahaka.
That's what the Congressional Black Caucus was supposed to be.
I'm just using that. I'm just using HR 40 as an example. I'm just using HR 40 as an example of a bill that's been sitting in Congress collecting dust for damn near 40 years. How come they didn't pass that? If all you got to do is ask.
No, what I'm saying is you can put a bill there, but if it don't pass, then you keep pushing. You don't sit it there and walk away.
Yeah, and everybody else bills get passed, but ours. That's
But
the
that's what I'm
point.
saying. The ACEs, they immediately,
Man.
as soon as coronavirus came, hate crime bill, money, resources. Here you go.
All I'm gonna say is this though is even with your girl Kamala Harris, they put her with Joe Biden, the Democrats, and they trying to pass her off as a black woman. That's how they got a lot of people to vote black for the Democrat. They keep playing that whole thing, that whole FBA thing. That shut that shit down. I mean, my bad, it shut that down.
Well, let me tell you
Because
something.
you ain't gonna do that no more.
No, it's not going. The reason why it's not going to shut it down is because even if you don't vote for these non-descendants of slaves, if you will, even if you don't,
I don't care where they from.
They have a machine behind them. So
Right.
the only opposite thing that we can do is organize and become political to counter that. Whether you vote for them or not, if we're not political aware to counter that, then we get nowhere.
You're not giving us enough credit. You're not giving us
Would
enough
it be?
credit, brother.
Isn't
We've
it
been
a
doing
political
everything that
move
you're
though?
saying.
Isn't it a political move though to say we are identifying a certain way?
No, it can turn into a political move, but as each and every one of y'all say, it's not there yet.
But do
Yeah,
you
it's
think that's
not there.
important? You think that's important? You think identity is important?
I think identity is very important.
Yes.
But just to say a thing doesn't mean much. You know what I'm saying? Just to say a
Yeah.
thing doesn't mean much.
Well, I
The
think
word-
it's a
the
first
word
step.
is God, brother. The word is
Yeah,
God, brother.
I think it's a
In
first
the beginning
step.
was the word.
Yeah. Beginning was the word, but how long we gonna deal with this word? Another 100 years?
No, this is brand new. We
Yeah,
just
it
we
is
just
brand
getting
new.
started.
Brand new.
Brand new at one time.
We just getting
Negro,
started.
African American was brand new with Jesse Jackson.
But that was
Come on,
given
we know
to
the
us.
we know the scheme behind
That was
Jesse
given to
Jackson
us.
African American
Yeah.
nonsense.
That didn't come
That's
from the
another
grass.
thing that gets addressed.
That didn't come from the soil.
Yeah, that ain't no grassroots. That ain't from the people.
I debate anybody on this topic, right? So we can put it on the record. So we can look back 5 years from now, and I guarantee you I'll be correct.
You
Anybody
losing
want
this
to
debate tonight, brother.
Huh?
You losing this one tonight.
I'm not debating you.
He's going
I'm
for
sorry,
the ball.
This is somewhat of a debate.
You wanna go with me tomorrow night?
This is somewhat of a debate when we're talking about this. When we're talking about we're talking about the political strategies, voting versus not voting, and all that. That was some bit of a debate. That was some.
Nah, it's just a difference of opinion. It's a difference of opinion.
That's what debate is. That's what debate is.
Never worked. This strategy has never worked.
It's never been done. It's never been done. It's never been done.
And it never will be done because any civilized group of people know better. They know the power of their vote. They know the power of it.
Exactly.
They know the power not to withhold it.
So you can't answer this question though. But you can't answer the question. Like the scenario that I gave you. We have a voting block. Everybody's on code. Everybody's on code with the issues that we need to get done.
Right.
We got two politicians that's going against each other.
Didn't I just tell you? You didn't even hear me. This is the thing. I did tell you.
What should we do with the vote? What should we do with the vote?
I just said you look at the person who has no chance of even winning.
Yeah,
and the popular people, I said this, and the popular people, as they fight it out, you show the power of your vote by giving it to someone who has no chance of winning so you can be on the record to show your power.
How
is ATB, you cop block.
How's that different than putting your vote in your pocket?
Because when you don't vote, it's not on the record. They don't have a count of who's really there to represent.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do because they have a historical record to look at to say, damn, we used to get this many Negroes to the polls. Now we only got this many Negroes to the polls.
Yeah, but they take the census. They take the census from voting. So when people don't vote, that lowers your numbers on the census, and that's why we don't count.
That's not even true. That's not even true.
That's not true.
Bro. That doesn't make sense. Brother, that don't make sense at all. Do you want to debate this tomorrow? You ready? The FBA has no political plan, and your political plan don't make sense. And I'm gonna show you.
FBA is not a political movement. There's not a debate.
But I can show you exactly what I'm saying. I can show you receipts that what I'm talking about has worked for other groups of people in America.
You can't compare us to nobody, brother. We different.
No, I'm just talking about political.
We know that. But we know. But listen, I'm not gonna debate you on that because we know that it works for other people.
Exactly.
We know it works for other people.
Listen to me. What I'm saying is the political process. Either you are being political or you're not. If you're being political, I'm telling you that your strategy is not going to work. And I'm going to show you evidence why. I'm going to show you and prove that my strategy has been proven to work.
Nobody cares about that.
I think your strategy, and my strategy have the same result. It has the same result.
How can we get anything established?
You can't show me. You can't show me anywhere in history where my strategy has been done. It hasn't been done.
And guess why? It would never be done because there is no power in that.
Okay, we'll see.
There is no power. It would never be done.
We on the record, like you said, so we can look back at this and see.
And you would never know the power of it because when you don't participate, there is no record of it.
Don't you know politicians do that all the time?
What?
Don't you know politicians that are in office, that are in Congress and Senate and all of that? There'll be a bill.
Population of local politics.
Listen. Listen. I'm just showing you an example of political maneuver of withholding a vote. Withholding a vote where there will be politicians. There will be politicians.
Go ahead, bro.
There will be politicians in the Senate, in the Congress, where there's a bill that's being passed, and there will be certain politicians that don't like what's in the bill that just don't vote at all.
But guess what?
As a strategy.
Okay, but guess what happened? You're dealing with two different political platforms. We're talking about a grassroots platform, and then we're talking about the Senate, and we're talking about Congress.
But we're talking about strategy. Brother, we're talking about implementation of strategy.
Listen to me.
I'm using the platform as an example.
Listen to me. Those are two different platforms.
That was a great example.
In the platform of the Senate, they can hit a deadlock, but they will straighten it out when it all's over.
Right, because they'll pull a filibuster.
On the grassroots level, let me tell you something. On the grassroots level, when you refuse to apply a better political strategy, you give it all of your tax dollars away. You're giving all of your education away.
We're not getting the tax dollars anyway.
No, you're giving it away every time you buy something. You don't have no better strategy, but that's the fall back.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood what you just said. Let me be quiet.
In a local district, right? Every time you buy something, You buy something, you pay with this, and you put this over here. When you refuse to have a political strategy, you give this away. The point is that there is no money besides the money that you put there. So who in their right mind would put money here and not come up with a better strategy to bring it back here?
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Let me get it to you.
Anybody?
Okay.
Anybody
Every
else?
time, wherever you live at, you pay taxes, right?
Right.
Okay. That's your money.
Right.
That's all of your community's money.
Right.
Without you participating in local politics to go get the bag, you gave your money away.
I don't disagree with that.
So, huh?
I don't disagree with that.
So the strategy would be is to select someone amongst you and get all of your numbers together to get that someone in position with the pen to get the bag.
I already agreed with that earlier.
So any other argument that we're talking about withholding the vote, now you give the scenario about this upcoming election. Now that's neither here nor there. We should, if we don't.
But what should we do though? We said vote for Joe Blow.
What I would instruct those who want to move with me, I would instruct them to do after I do an analysis. But now, if just say we take your route and we say, okay, we're not doing it that way. However, we will be there front and center to let our numbers be known. You feel what I'm saying? And we will be preparing for what I'm talking about now for the next one.
For 2024. Exactly.
So the whole thing in the nutshell, we're not withholding anything. We're going to be see right now, the only thing we're doing is having conversation on the internet. I actually have an organization that's in development right now called the Alliance for Political Accountability. Everything I'm talking to you is the strategy in which we implementing this coming, not this one, the coming one after that election. And we implementing certain things. So the point that I'm making is that the strategy must be more comprehensive than just withdrawing. Period, point blank. That's not a good strategy.
No, everything else that you're saying, I'm in alignment with it, brother. I just feel like there's no difference in putting your vote in your pocket or going to vote for the dude that doesn't have a chance. I see those two as meeting the same ends. It's the same thing.
So listen, if I'm in Park Heights, right? If I'm in Park Heights and I'm talking to the one that smoked the weed, because that's what's going on around in the community, which the one that smoked the weed, I'm letting them know that every time you buy a blunt, you're paying a tax. Bro, I need you to help me get your tax money back. Can you sign that? If I get 4,000 people in a certain district to move on my word that I'm going to help get your tax back, and we in a dangerous area, if I don't come through, they're going to hold me accountable. And that's where we really let the rubber meet the road. That when we on the grassroots level, you are accountable to the people. Now, when you tell the people you're going to get their money back to them by the political process, and they sign up to rock with you, it's up to you to get that money back. See, most people don't know the political way to get to the bag. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question for you, bro.
I'm only theorizing right now, but I'm going to apply and hopefully bring that back to the people.
I just want to ask you a specific question about your political plans. You're talking about locally in Baltimore, right?
Locally in Baltimore, wherever we have people who wants to be a part of the Alliance for Political Accountability around the country. Absolutely.
And what's the goal? What's the end game?
The end game is to obtain political power and build our infrastructure in our communities. Because when the money sit in the bag, for instance, here in Park Heights, right, we got an Upper Park Heights and we got Park Heights, right? And so let's call it Lower Park Heights, they do not receive funding because that funding just sit there. So Upper Park Heights, what they call Jewtown asks for money because they need a hospital, they need a school. They actually got a hospital right next to the lower end of Park Heights. They got a real hospital there in their neighborhood. Now, the business owners, as well as the tax dollars that they don't have in that district, they'll pull it out another district because it's sitting there. You ever notice that they always building the same highways over and over? What they're trying to do is get rid of the money that people have not requested because it hasn't been allotted to certain districts. And so they reallocate it to other districts. So what I'm telling you is that you take that money, you claim that, and you give it back to the people. All of these row houses in Baltimore can be turned into STEM schools or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It could be turned into something. But it takes a person to understand how to reallocate even in some of the other districts that money just sitting there and they just going to fill potholes. You know what they did in Baltimore? They gave everybody free trash cans. Free trash cans in the whole city. And you know why they do that? You know why they do that? They gave us free trash cans. I'm talking about the whole Baltimore city got green trash cans. You know how they do that? Because they got money sitting around and they got to do something with it. They got to do something with it.
Is that what you're going to tell the brother that's smoking a blunt at the park?
No, the guy that's smoking a blunt, I'm going to say, brother, do you want your son out here smoking a blunt? You see those houses right there? We can actually turn that into a school right there. And not only just a school, we can turn that to an after-school program that teach you how to do programming, to teach you how to do gaming. Brother, this is what we're going to work for. Let me show you where this happened at. And this is how we're going to do it. This is the model. Boom. Let me show you on this iPad. This is the model. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna tell the blunt guy. If you want to sell drugs, do you want your son out here next year? You know what I mean? When he's 16? If you don't, then let's get some. Let me and these brothers and sisters influence this process so we can get this thing built up properly.
I fuck with you, man. Pardon me, but yeah, let me know how I can support that, man.
That's what I'm about.
I like some of your ideas, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be on here with you all night. I'm about to get out of here. So
the only thing I'm saying is that the people that need it the most get it the least.
Yeah.
The people that need it the most get it the least.
Don't we know that?
And that's the problem. And so when I look into my neighbor, let me show you something. My son did this while I was talking today, right? I was talking to a sister. And I normally don't do this. My son caught me in a moment, right? And he says, "Oh, let me see. Look, so I'm working, right? But we only this place here is about building ourselves back in the state of our God mind and moving forward. This what I'm talking. This today. Now this was unplanned. This place here. Building ourselves back in the state of our God mind and moving forward. Now this sister walking by with a beer in her hand, and she's like, "Brother, what's going on here?" I said, "This place here is about building ourselves." I don't know if you could hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Barely, but I get the point.
Absolutely. But this is, and I don't really show this on it. And my son caught me and was like, "Dad, I had to get that. Because but he caught the end of the conversation. But the whole thing in a nutshell is if we are not going to move on the ground, we ain't got nothing coming, bro.
No, I agree with you.
Off the internet.
I agree with you on that.
I don't mean it got to get off the internet. I mean like a Tariq.
It can't stay on the internet. It can't just stay on the internet.
Tariq Nasheed can stay on the internet because he's good with it. But ultimately, he's going to have to delegate those to organize if it's going to be a political organization. If it's going to go bigger than a conversation,
look. That's like saying Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans. You guys are all going to be Jamaican. Somebody has to organize all of you guys to get on this, do this political movement. That's not realistic.
Oh, it is realistic.
That's not realistic. There could be groups of people who are Jamaican who get together and form these organizations and make certain moves that you're saying we should be making. Just like there could be groups of us who do the same thing, just like what you're doing. You're a foundational Black American. You don't identify as that, but you're a foundational Black American and you got your thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is that when we on the internet, there's a thin line between a vlog and practical applications for some solutions. And much of what we see on the internet is all vlogs. Because at the end of the day, somebody's walking away with the bag. And the people that needed it most are being entertained and inspired to go to work next day and continue to struggle. Ain't no cushion. Ain't no cushion for the viewer. Ain't no cushion for the one who's inspired to be FBA, to
Listen,
be more.
I
Ain't
agree
no
with you.
cushion.
Some people are here just strictly for
This is not just
entertainment.
FBA.
Some
This is
people-
Morris Giants too.
I know what you're saying. Some people are here just for the entertainment value, just for the feel-good value, and some people will actually take the information and apply it to their lives.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, only thing I'm saying is that even in the Moorish paradigm, there is no cushion. It's all about, what I mean no cushion, that once the camera shut off, everyone that claims this Moorish, this Black Power, this FBA, they go back to their lives. They go back to their struggle. There is no contingency plan after the internet shuts down. It's just hype, inspiration, feel good, but there is no contingency plan. That's where the problem is. That's why I like this conversation. But with that being said, you want to say anything in closing, brother? Man,
Yeah,
y'all
man.
got me. Cryptonomics got me up here 3.5 hours. Woo!
Yes, it did.
Man,
Yeah,
I ain't done
so
nothing. I'm
in
back here
closing-
listening.
In closing, I want to say, thank you for having me on here. Thank you for everybody that participated, in this conversation. I think it was productive. You know what I'm saying? I be watching your stuff, man. I like what you do. You know what I mean? I respect your platform. And as far as the stuff that you're talking about that you got going on down there in Baltimore, I got a channel also. I would like to have you on to talk more
Where you at,
about
brother?
it. As Sincere Love the God, right here on YouTube. As Sincere Love the God, I do a podcast called
Bro,
Sincere.
can you email me, bro? And email me some openings
Yes.
you got on there. Absolutely.
I'm gonna have my co-host reach out to you and get you on the schedule so we can
I
bring
would
you
love to
on
do it, bro.
and chop it up.
I would love to do it. I would love to do it. And let me say, I don't want anybody, and I don't want to sound cliche, but please don't say I'm knocking Tariq Nasheed.
Nah. I didn't get that.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those on here. Oh, Tahaka attacking Tariq Nasheed. No, it's a conversation. And I would love to have a conversation with Brother Tariq. I heard him mention Moors a couple times in his demonstration. He said, well, we are not Moors. They with the paperwork stuff. And I would love to just give him some clarification on what a true Moorish American stands for and what we represent. Because we don't represent throwing any paperwork at no European to free us. That ain't what we do.
Yeah, but there's a lot of misrepresentation out there, and that's really what. Well, I won't speak for him, but that's what I hear him addressing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the misrepresentation. But again, respect to you and everything that you got going on. Again, I'll have my co-host reach out to you. We'll get you on the Godcast schedule as soon as possible. And in closing, like I always say, I am not the master teacher. I am only a master student and signal booster for the voices of the new Black media. Peace. and Black love.
Hey, he drop a bomb on it, Crip. Hey, Crip.
Yeah.
Hey,
Man, that's a good show, man. You had a good panel up tonight, man.
Hey, Crip. Let me tell you something. Somebody say, GS stuck on FBA being everything else but lineage. Let me tell y'all something, family. Listen. Stop being so sensitive. This is a change for Moorish World TV for a good conversation. And I will admit, I don't know a lot about FBA, but I've learned something tonight. What I learned is it's not a political movement. It possibly could turn into one, but right now it's rallying the troops to be prepared for what possibly could come next. Am I saying that right, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, it's just an method right now to put focus and shine on the people who have built this nation.
But I don't want none of my people to ostracize a lot of our people who are not in that ignorant state that are willing to support and help us move forward, because we're at the bottom of the barrel and we can use all the help we can get. And I'm not talking about those that, obviously think that they're better than us, think that they are going to push us to the back. No, I'm talking about those who understand our plight, understand the hand that we was dealt, whether they're from parts of Asia, the Philippines, China. I talked with a lady from China, looking at products that to get made in China. And man, she's the realest person. I mean, she can't speak English, but she got a translator thing. I'm just saying my problem has always come from, I'm telling you, my problem has always come from the oppressive, if you will, white supremacists. It's always come from them. It always come from them. It like if you can, I can do a live stream from a Korean store. Years ago, brothers would attack the Koreans. Man, right now in the community, the Koreans in the hood, man, I was surprised to see that they're working together. They hire each other. I mean, it's a different thing. So I think sometimes that we go overboard. That we go overboard when we identify ourselves as distinct, which we are. But there's other people out there that understand what the hand that we've been dealt. You know what I'm saying? There is. And they are some sympathizers. That may not be a lot of other people's experience, but it's been my experience. And that's why I say that we don't want to box ourselves in from potential support from those who understand our condition that we have been in.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think it's really based on how I've heard it, is to put the shine on us, but at the same time, when people want to come over here and disrespect those who have been a part of this land for so long, it's a slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it in my hood, man. I've gone at like some African restaurants and stuff, and they look at me like, you know, who is you?
Me too.
You know?
Me too. I have had more good experiences than bad.
Right. And that's the way it should be. But
I can say that my energy don't give off like you gonna come slick with me either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I done went in the store in New York and a Pakistani followed me around down in one of them those stores, and I'm like, man, you want me to follow you around? I mean, my energy just turn up real fast. I can't say that. So I understand the FBA ideal, but on a personal level, if you get out of pocket, I'm gonna check you right then and there.
Right.
Especially, you know, because I don't know, I don't understand you like I understand me. You know what I mean? I don't understand you disrespecting, and you're from another culture, like I understand us. Because some things we do, it ain't even disrespect. Like I get loud all the time. I don't mean no disrespect. I know the brother Will L, he got loud. He don't mean no disrespect. That's his personality. You know what I mean? He don't mean no disrespect. I still want him to debate me so I can do what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I know he didn't mean no disrespect because I know he is, as we would say, FBA.
And that's the other thing I think is trying to target is just put the shine back on us, because we've had so many people in this land do so many great things, from entertainment, politics. I mean, and they have reshaped the whole world, so to speak, you know, from civil rights, Malcolm X, all these type of people, man. And really, I think he's trying to put that museum together to put that shine on there, because there's really not one that exists in America from an FBA perspective, as he puts it.
I think so, though. We have a museum here, Reginald F. Lewis Museum here in Baltimore, and it highlights everything that we've ever done. They don't call it FBA, obviously, but F. Reginald Lewis, one of the first millionaires from our community. You know what I'm saying? It's a museum right here in Baltimore.
What's it called?
Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to put the shine. I mean, there's nothing like that on the West Coast, you know, and I think that's where he's trying to do his thing. But I like it from that perspective, and that it's just putting some shine on us, because at the end of the day, bro, we shape everything. I mean, the music happens here, and then it spreads across the world, and everybody trying to be like us, man. Everybody.
Absolutely. But with that being said, I just think we don't need to separate that stuff. I think we'll be better off if we travel a little bit. And
Yeah.
because a lot of time we get the people that are disgruntled from African countries and disgruntled from Asian countries. I think if we travel a little more and get to know the people that's on the ground that can appreciate us as we may even appreciate that or them, I think we have a better perspective. But many of us don't travel enough to really get to know people. I haven't traveled that much, but I have interacted. I've interacted with a lot of different ethnic groups, brother, and my experience has been good. I've had some ignorant ones, but my experience has been good. I think when we get to know the natives of some of these places, I think we'll have
Well, let me say this last bit though. I don't think the goal of the FBA is to block us off or segregate us from anybody else in a I'm better than you fashion. It's just really trying to put the onus on, hey, there's a group of people in this land who have never gotten any identification or any credit on anything. And it's just trying to say, hey, this is who we are. You're trying to put your stamp in the sand. You know what I mean? Trying to put your footmark in the world and say, hey, this is who we are. And if you rock with us, you rock with us. If you don't, kick rocks, you know.
And let me see. The brother got the channel Go Black to Africa. He travels all around Africa. I think he'll be a great addition to the show if he ever agree to come on here to tell about his experiences in the interior of Africa. Because a lot of times, I think I seen him in Israel too. Because a lot of times, what'll happen is people like we talked to Sister Uma York. And she was talking about when she went to Egypt now, and you even mentioned that.
Yeah, I've been to Egypt.
A certain part of Egypt, you're like, what in the world is going on? But when you go deeper in the interior, you are received a little different.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, you in Cairo, that's not our people. But yeah, you go down south, or as they say, the north, you know, down the river. I mean, it's totally different. It's just like our people at that point. You know, I mean, you're on that same vibe. Let's put it that way. But you know, that's the only thing I think a lot of people think about. Like Tariq, he will say, well, they're only vibing with us because they want our money. You know, they know we have the money and they want our tourism and stuff like that. So it gets a little dicey when he starts talking about that. And I don't have that experience. But you know.
But you know what? Anywhere you go where you are a foreigner, there is going to be somebody. There is going to be somebody that's stalking you.
But we don't do that here. We don't stalk tourists and stuff.
But that's not American culture. It's like at one time when I would do home improvement for like somebody from Pakistan or something, right? And I give them the fairest price ever. When it's time to pay up, they want to negotiate. I want to give me curtains. She thought, but these are good curtains. She owned a hotel, and she said, "Look, these are $200 curtains. Here, take the curtains." I'm looking at her like she's crazy.
Right.
Now, it was an elder Pakistani tell me I had to ask him. I was like, Farouk, I need to know, why are you always negotiating? I know the price is the price. What we signed for is what we signed for. And he explained to me it's just the culture. They don't mean no disrespect. But if they go to the market and they see a bundle of bananas and someone says, give me $1, they're going to say, I'll give you 75 cents. It's just
that's how they do it. Yeah, that's how they do it on there.
But that's not American culture. In American culture, we see, we buy, or we take.
But I mean, we ain't fleecing though either. I mean, when people come over here, you know, we ain't really getting over like that. You know, we go over there, they got to.
Who asked for the link earlier? GS, he asked for the link earlier. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. We won't be talking about this tomorrow because I know people gonna get all hyped. I mean, we gonna get all hyped.
Oh, you gonna have to bring it back though, man. That was a good conversation tonight. That was a good panel too, man.
Yeah, beautiful panel. Thank you, family. Thanks, Crip, for dialing in, man. Stuck with me all evening, bro.
Most def.
3 hours and 46 minutes. And again, family, I'm gonna tell you right now, Crip, I'm kind of getting out of the mode of every show exposing these same old frauds. Because, no, for real, Crip, because if people want to be frauded, they will be frauded. And I think it's time to have some builds like this with good panels,
Yes, sir.
and move forward, man. Because in reality, man, I'ma still expose these people every time they breathe wrong. But in the meantime, in between time, I think these critical conversations are very important.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And I mean, keep banging on their heads when you get a chance. But this right here, this is real good, man. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate all of y'all, family.
All right, bro.
And I got, hey, Crip, and one thing I forgot to do in the beginning because I got all hype, is bring it on back. So for my brother Crip, he said, a show is not the show without the intro. So peace and love, man.
Hit him with the horn.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. Hey! I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. You a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. Family, see y'all tonight, 9:30. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law